You're listening to Sit, Talk, and Listen podcast with your hosts, Payroll Rob and Zadie Bauer.
Yes. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Hello.
It is us. It is us. Sit, Talk, and Listen. What is today? Today is July 22nd, 2024, episode 14. Zavy, it's a special one. We got friends in town. Brady, welcome. Hello, hello.
What's going on? My daughter's sitting here staring at me like this sucks. So really excited.
Yeah, we had to change up the venue a little bit. Normally we're secluded to the basement because our thoughts are just too idiotic to really get out into the open world with.
Oh, they're out now, baby.
But today we decided to get to the Ritz-Carlton. We're in a legit studio. We're doing it.
What is this?
Who knows, man? Feels like we should have show prepped a little. No. Who am I kidding?
You don't change
prep.
the formula for such a
We don't prep.
well thought out podcast as this one.
We don't even like to talk about things we talked about last episode. Typically.
By gosh, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm good with avoiding that as well. So I guess I'll kick the ball. Let's see, Brady, you're our special guest today. So if I was asking you, what's the lead? What's got your hairs excited, standing up on the back of your neck, looking forward? What's got you fired up this week?
Big
I guess
pressure,
I would ask.
Man.
Well, that's all we do. It's a pressure cooker
it's just
in
big
this.
pressure situations.
Yeah.
Got to get my Klay Thompson on, throw up a brick. Clay's washed. It's sad. It's my boy, but it's not a good time to be a Klay Thompson fan.
I love that the lead is Klay Thompson
baby. True or false, Klay Thompson washed. No, shoot, man, I don't know. Cardinals, man.
Oh,
look at them.
Yeah.
Well,
I love, dude. That's what I'm saying.
is bringing it up to so
Finally.
okay. Take 2 out of 3 from Atlanta.
Right?
Recent history, right after the All-Star break. Is this? Do you have? What do you got them winning the division? What do you got them?
Ooh, I mean, it's going to be a race. I was like full on board when the slow start and everything. Like, yo, we got to get this dude Mo out of here, like immediately. This guy's got to go.
Everybody was on the fuck Mo train wagon, and they still are.
Suddenly,
bandwagon.
The dark cardinal magic kicked in, and here we are, man.
Are you surprised? I mean, this
I'm
is
really
what they
not.
do.
This is just Cardinals baseball, man.
This
is
point,
it.
You got to ride the cardiac Cardinals.
Yeah.
Inject it in my veins. I love, Brady came in from Vegas to slowly start making this a baseball pod with me, and I'm fully
here for it.
on board, dude.
But is this a coup? Is that what's happening?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Alec
Watch out,
Burleson.
Jeff Passan and whoever else. We're coming for you.
Yeah.
In your baseball pods.
Tomboy Media. But Alec Burleson has just been the best hitter in baseball for the last
Suddenly,
month.
yeah.
I mean,
all of a sudden.
what in the
Who
world?
had that on their bingo
How did
card?
we not trade him for a mediocre reliever and a utility infielder last year? Like, I don't get it. What are the Cardinals up to?
That's awesome.
It's against everything they know.
Really,
It's
yeah.
Really, this is out of character for the
don't
Cardinals
understand.
to let him do his thing.
They tried to trade him for a 37-year-old starter and a left-handed journeyman.
Woke up Jeff Beck from retirement. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought Jeff Beck was a guitar player.
I think he was a pitcher, too. Or was that Rich Beck?
Dog, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Tony?
Either one.
Could be. Just Beck.
Yes, yeah.
Back
The
out there.
Cardinals traded Lane Thomas to the Nationals a few years ago for John Lester.
Yeah, that's a thing that happened. Yeah.
Which is just a great comparison.
That's real.
Yeah. How wild is that?
Well, it's wild, but not nearly as wild as some of the other trades we've had, I would say. Like, look at some of the other talent we've went ahead and let slip through the fingers.
Yeah, some other.
I'm not going to name names right
Yeah,
now.
I was gonna say, we shouldn't name
you know
the
the
name
names.
that's on the top of my head. We'll leave that one alone.
You know the names.
Yeah. I think what are some big trades you got? The big trade. One of the big parties just traded for a Harris. I think they're going to be sending a Harris out there.
Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? We're just going to jump right in.
I heard that was a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Jump right in. Like we're the Urge, dude. It said, hey, let me bring us to politics talk.
Well, I just want to get it over with. And I'm
Speaking of aging relievers.
hey.
Hey.
Look, I mean, that's, nobody wants to hear us talk the talk of the political talk, and we don't want to really talk the talk of the political talk. But, it seemed like to me the writing was on the wall months ago that Homeboy Joe was not going to run. They just needed to figure out how to make it happen. And so, let's shove him out there for a debate early on, really start making him look like a fool, stop giving him those drugs that make him a little bit more heightened senses. And this is what we got now. They said, all right, now's the time. Pull the plug on the Biden.
Cures dementia.
Feels like everything circles back to Klay Thompson. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude, Klay Thompson.
Would you vote for Klay Thompson for president? Washington president and 3-point shooting.
I think Klay Thompson kind of gives off a Joe Biden aura anyway. He always seems like he's out to lunch.
Want that.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the guy that gives off a Joe Biden.
Yeah,
energy.
not in big 2024. You don't want that.
Crazy.
You don't want that to your name.
Who else gives off Joe Biden energy?
Oh, man.
What are we defining Joe Biden energy?
How do we...
Well, apparently, whatever Klay Thompson's got going on.
Well, just kind of just doesn't seem like he's like, if you're in the same room with him, it seems like you're in different rooms still.
What does that mean? Does that just mean like Klay Thompson thinks of himself as the only person in the room and just ignores everything else?
No, not at all. I don't think Klay Thompson is is narcissistic or anything by any means. I just mean that he just kind of does Klay things. Clay's just.
That's true.
I just think there's no slight to Klay.
Like Manny being Manny back in the day.
yeah, it's Klay being Klay. I mean, what's he signed with, like Ying or something, the shoe company?
Yeah, like Li Ning.
Yeah, Li Ning. There it is.
Yeah.
I love that the Brady episode is going to be known as the Klay Thompson episode.
That's what I'm here for.
Klay Thompson taking the shrapnel.
Brady said he's going to drop 38 points in the first quarter.
And then that's it. Nothing more for the rest of the game.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to come in and make it rain on them. So it's special for you, Brady. You're our first guest on
Am I really?
On our pod. Yeah, because
shoot.
we just don't have the technology to do this very often. So first guest, probably going to really increase our numbers. I mean, we're doing pretty good.
We're going to pump
We got
these things
thousands
up.
of listeners, and everybody knows we have thousands of listeners.
That's what I've heard. Heard rumblings around St. Louis since I got into town.
You're probably hearing some of the major corporations in Vegas talking about us because we've been looking for sponsorships.
Trying to expand a little?
Yeah, well, we got a pretty big reach as it is, but we're just really want to get those numbers
Trying to
down.
get into the sports books. I see you.
Yeah, dude, the
All right.
casino money is really where we think we don't talk at all about betting. But
Just going to turn into a parlay podcast.
I love it.
Parlay Pod.
Well, by episode 14, we were in the studio, so I think by episode 28, we'll be in the sphere.
Yeah, it's logical.
Yeah, we'll be probably live broadcasted on the outside of the sphere. You won't even, they couldn't sell enough, the tickets in the space on the inside is too small for the numbers of people that would be coming to watch. So they have to do it on the outside so that they could fit.
That's how I figured out who the Blackhawks drafted. I was just looking outside of the sphere. I'm like, oh, cool.
Oh, is that really?
Yeah. We're
That's
like, okay,
pretty
well, yeah,
cool.
we got the defender. That's good.
You see, so there was
I'm
a
so glad you didn't get
fake image
celebrated.
going around that the sphere had gotten the blue screen of death. Did everybody see that?
I did
floating
see
around?
that.
What does that mean?
So, okay, back it up with Jack a little bit more. Friday, the Crowdstrike software malfunction, taking out computers at banks and airports and a lot of other major operations. Nick, familiar? Xavier, what do you got? You're hip on this? Not hip on this. Am I informing you?
You're informing me.
Okay. So I guess as part of this cybersecurity software update, when they sent it out to all these different companies that use this cybersecurity software, it crashed all these different systems, and they were getting this blue screen of death. It was like, sorry, something's wrong. And then somebody, photoshopped that blue screen of death on the sphere and was like, look at what's going on in Vegas. And then that gets shared around like it's reality, and everybody's like, oh my God, this is crazy. So that's just like a microcosm of the other problems of the
All
world.
of the problems.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
Anything.
kind of here for it, dude. I would love some of this technology and
Just
advancements. Well, not disappear, but I'd love to just smacking some of these cyber nerds right in their face. Like,
Cyber
I'm
nerds.
sick of them.
Them and the analytics guy in baseball, one and the same?
Yeah, I mean,
They can all get slapped.
I know, once again, I'm old man yelling at clouds, but
no, somebody's got to
they're
be.
starting to get cocky a little bit. These Silicon Valley motherfuckers, dude. I mean,
Check yourself.
Somebody needs it. It's the same as big macho alpha guys had to get slapped, right?
True.
They had to be kind of even out. They started feeling themselves a little too much, but I think that's shifted. I think there's been an overcorrection.
Yeah.
And
if you're a big tech guy, you feel like you can't be fucked
dude,
with.
they're so condescending, man.
It's true. They do act and consider themselves very much above the average Joe.
And as long as, I realize I probably have a lot of loved ones that could be affected, but gosh, it's not even a hot take. Like, nothing better. Is it a hot take to say there's nothing better than seeing banks just completely effed? Because I think
that is a hot take, and I like it.
For some, it might be a hot take.
But let's not forget about 2000.
Off-screen thumbs up here.
let's not forget about 2008 when the banks almost all did collapse, and how shitty that was for us average person. A lot of people lost homes. A lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people lost all their retirement savings. So, in hoping for downfall of banks, we're kind of are going to have the downfall of this kind of sham of society that we're, what we've built, this capitalistic world, brother. So, what's up with that moral conundrum? What are you going to do now? What do you do? Because if you see their downfall, it's going to suck for all of us. But then you're like, kind of nice to see him suffer a little bit. I don't know.
Used to say this thing in the Navy back in the day. When we'd be messing with other branches and they'd all get into fights and everybody would be like, one team, one fight. And I think, we're all in this together, man. High School Musical style.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
And,
So we don't want the banks to collapse of biblical proportions. Maybe just like slowly crumble away piece by piece. Wouldn't that be?
I do love some attrition. Love a little attrition.
I know, and it's all one team. We're in this together. From that perspective, yes, there'd be a lot of people that I like that'd be drastically affected. Me personally,
I ain't got no money.
It's like, dude, I'm like to watch this whole fucking empire collapse and burn to the ground.
But then what do you do?
Well, even the playing fields for sure.
You just want to Mad Max this shit?
I just think the banks would get bailed out though, and the people that really got effed, just like in 2008, that's the frustration, like the frustrating part about it all.
I would say, I would agree.
But they were at fault. They were at fault. 2008. They were giving loans out to anybody who had pulse. So
Jack and Jill came in.
I mean, there's a reason some of these policies are in place. But again, I'm just a buffoon, and any of these takes that I have should not be taken. We should put a little disclaimer at the beginning of each episode.
Yeah, I want to just throw out now that I don't know shit about shit.
Yeah.
So let's get that out of the way early.
Brady, let's be honest. I think people that listen to this show know and expect us not to know shit about shit. So it's known coming in here that it's a safe space and we can throw out takes and we will not be judged for it because that take might change by next week. But that is the beauty of it all. You should be able to just throw out a take.
Learn, man.
And then all of a sudden when you're presented with new information, you can change your mind. What a fucking novel concept to change your mind. Holy shit.
People don't change their minds.
Yeah, because they're ostracized when they do. Somebody will say, well, that's not what you were saying before. Well, hey, guess what? Before, I didn't know what I know now. I know something new now, and now I've changed my mind. So suck it. I don't know. That kind of thing just fires me up.
That's utopian speaking there, brother. You can't be doing all that.
I'm just saying, if people are so one side or the other because they get pressured into feeling like they have to be one side or the other. People don't feel like they don't. If you don't have a strong stance one way or another, then you're ostracized.
We need a societal free agency. Like, you need to be able to hit the market on things that you're, like, into. Like, if you're hardcore, staunch, this thing, new information comes to light. The other team has a pretty good pitch. Like, okay, let me go find out. Let me see.
I agree. Yeah. And you'd be able to seamlessly transition without that. Because I think there is some kind of embarrassment along the way when you have publicly made known, like you feel very strongly about something, and then transition to quite the opposite take. I will say, and I'm not going to go into specifics of said thing, but like, like one of my sisters has made a pretty opposite point of view on a pretty strong societal conversation. And, I don't think she's shown any kind of shame or embarrassment for doing so. So I do think that it is possible to have such
conviction, or what? What are we saying?
Yeah. Well, no, like just to be able to, I wish more people could, if they are changing their mind or changing their opinions based off new perspectives brought up to them, without feeling, so embarrassed or like they have to be tied to their convictions.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that.
Oh, I agree. And I think that the internet has propagated that more than before. Like, if you had an opinion and you changed it before, it wasn't as big of a deal, but now it's inked in black and white on Twitter, people. You got Antonio Brown out there throwing God knows what onto Twitter.
ESPN, baby.
He's like my guy. It's funny, dude.
It's hilarious.
Just like an animal throwing shit against the wall, seeing what sticks. He's like, I'm just going to go ahead and tweet this out. Hopefully it sticks. But, he can contradict himself, and people be like, but you just said this last week. He'd be like, I got CTE. I don't care.
He's like, I have a pass. So
Antonio,
where's Antonio Brown going to be in 4 years?
Like, you saw the Bengals game.
You think he's going to be like...
That was nuts.
Vontez.
He'll
be like Terry Crews in Idiocracy when he was up there giving his speeches. You think that's going to be Antonio Brown?
Is this a push for 2028?
Yeah.
AB?
We starting to hear? AB 2028? Man, okay.
You think if we just get a groundswell for him to happen, he'll just do it? He'll be like, hey, look, this is what the people want me to do.
Would that be more or less nuts than Kanye's push?
It'd be more nuts.
It would be more, yeah.
Nuts. AB don't got the reach like Kanye, even if he wants to think 4 years, he does. But give him 4 years if he plays his cards right.
Right?
House of Cards.
So Kevin Spacey is going to be his running mate?
That'd be, yeah.
Is that
sure.
what
House of Cards. Let's do it.
I do. Speaking of Kevin Spacey, he's been trying to slowly integrate himself back into Hollywood, which would be a comeback nobody's rooting for.
Not at all. Nobody wants this besides Kevin Spacey.
Dude,
he probably doesn't even want it, but he feels obligated.
I just think it's so weird going back to it. I kind of think one of the least, I feel like it should be talked about more, how weird it was that Kevin Spacey was going on kind of an apology tour as his character from House of Cards. Do you remember when that happened?
I do remember that. It was super awkward.
I don't remember that.
He gave his first interview. Was it with Cooper?
I think it was, and he was in character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was with Anderson Cooper. He was in character discussing these serious ass allegations, and then he was giving 5-minute monologues from his character from House of Cards, which I think it's
weird.
Nuts that it was not as talked about as it should have been.
Yeah, here's a guy going out in the public acting like a character. We're just gonna let it fly? I guess so.
I mean, that's what Carrot Top's been doing for 40 years. So.
But can you imagine if heaven forbid, Steve Carell got caught up in some scandal and then he went on a press run giving interviews as Michael Scott? It would be hilarious.
Honestly, we should just integrate that into society.
Yeah.
I feel like we're on to something with that.
Yeah, if you've messed up, if you've been shamed by society, you go on an apology tour as one of your famous personas or characters.
Yeah, I would love that.
So what would the Kyle Gass apology tour be? What kind of character would he be?
I
don't think he ever plays a character.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing. I think he's just Kyle Gass, man.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? I mean, maybe he doesn't feel like he owes an apology.
Is this the end of the D? Do you think?
No,
you don't think so?
It's the end of the D until this race is over.
Boils over, and
we'll see him in 2025.
Okay.
So you think Jack called him on the side and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to publicly throw you under the bus"?
Yeah, and again, the whole people are using this throw him under the bus. I think how is him being we gotta take a pause. We're gonna not do this tour right now and hold off any future plans. That's not really throwing under the bus, in my opinion. He's just doing what's necessary right now. Let's stop and let this die down, and we'll come back maybe at some point. He didn't say, fuck Kyle Gass. He's the worst piece of shit he is. I'm going to go on and keep doing my thing without him.
Well, he came out and kind of said, the comments caught me off guard, and I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. That doesn't throw anybody under the bus either.
I don't think the optics look good from Jack Black being a just Jack Black for his whole career. Like we expect things of Jack Black, and Ride or Die with His Boy is one of those things we expect. And then suddenly he's like, I don't know about this one, pal.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take a break.
That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
Dude.
Time to take a break. I'm probably gonna. I mean, I got my Jack Black glasses on, So
I think we all do
a little bit probably by that, but I don't know. I think he's just doing what's necessary right now. He's obviously got a lot of other things he's tied up in. He can't let this, improv line by Kyle on stage get in the way of big money animated movies that he's part of. He said that's BS.
Fell out.
We got to have Kung Fu Panda 19.
Yeah.
He
coming
didn't tell
soon.
Kyle to say that shit on stage.
So Jack Black hasn't made enough money to have his friends back maybe one time and face the backlash. It's like, would Jack Black have really been, he would have bounced back from that.
Probably.
I mean, especially from a guy who's already taken such a strong stance, like for the Democratic Party.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's not about what he said. Like, it was not awesome, Kyle Gass, but again, like I said, it's like, if you're Jack Black, you see Jack Black, and it's Tenacious D. It's Kyle Gass. That's his boy.
Right. I agree.
I feel like you could go about it a different way, other than be like, I didn't expect that at all. He sucked. That was not great. We're out for a while.
Yeah, see, that's how I heard it. He kind of did throw him under the bus, man. Well, how do we bounce back from that?
We've dug ourselves in a hole here.
Speaking of throwing friends under the bus, me and Brady, we had lunch today, so I got to kind of catch up with him. And there's some stuff that we were kind of discussing.
We were discussing a few things, like how we were going to jump Bob at the studio.
Okay, this is news.
I'm just now
Sounds
finding
like you
this
guys
out.
did some show prep without me.
Breaking news. No, man.
I'm going to be jumped.
But
yeah.
So what do you got?
No, it was unfair for me to do that. I just thought it'd be fun.
We're bringing it up.
Okay.
I'm available all day Monday. And then very specific parameters as to what all day means.
Yeah. Well, I had to accomplish some
got some goals this morning.
I'm a man of the people, Brady. I can't afford to take days off of work.
Fair.
So I got to go out. I got to dig these trenches, get a little dirty, sweat a little bit. I got to put money in my pocket.
Gotcha.
So I was out there schlepping it earlier today. So we had to get together in the early afternoon and put you guys on a time schedule. Sorry I couldn't be as free flowing as I maybe once was in my life.
I'll accept that apology.
Well, you fucking better, because it's all I got.
It's all I have.
What were you doing?
I just told you what I was doing. Digging holes and making money like a fucking laborer.
You were literally doing that.
Actually working, okay.
Like,
I thought it was like some...
Yeah, people say I was in the trenches.
No,
he really was. He was
out there slanging, baby.
Brother. I had to put a French drain in today.
Hey, what's that?
You don't
Give us some
know.
expertise.
Yeah, dude. You never had that French
I've
drain?
never had a French drain before.
It catches water, and it corrals it, and it puts it in a different place from where it catches it.
Man, the French, brother.
Basic logistics of a drain.
Hey.
Yeah, so I'm glad we got that out of the way.
I thought the French drain was when Rudy Gobert hit a three.
You think there's some wild sex
Never seen
called
that.
the French?
I've never seen either side. What's up?
Oh, well, I don't know.
I guess we can go Victor Wembanyama.
I said,
We could.
I said, do you think that there's any kind of wild sex act called the French drain?
Well.
Should we ask Tony?
Tony, where are we at?
Come on with this info.
Freddy's cookies are going to look insane after this. Tony can't go home and Google anything.
The French drain. What do you think back there? What's the audience? Well, never mind. I'm not going to ask the audience about this.
Yeah, we're not going to pull this audience. We'll keep that one.
I'm more so was trying to ask Billy.
Yes.
Uh-oh. What have we found?
So Urban Dictionary,
Oh, gosh. Be mindful.
Boy.
they have French drain. All right. When someone diarrheas into someone else's mouth while wearing underwear, and the underwear filters the solid part of the feces, resulting in filtered liquid flowing through the underwear, and also that actual act is called a French drain.
And there you have it, folks.
Thanks.
We all learned something new today.
Thank you, Miss Lippy.
So I was installing a traditional French drain.
Yeah,
bet
Not
you
the
were.
Urban Dictionary version.
Not this one for
Wink.
all those perverts out there concerned with me French draining it up.
Glad to find this out about you now.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
So any other big news? Anything else happened to anybody this week that was big and exciting? I'm getting ready to go to Florida at the end of this week.
yeah,
I know I've been talking about it for some time now. I know everybody's got it on their calendar. They said Rob's out of town.
I marked it, yeah.
Yeah. No podcast that week, guys.
Nothing.
I don't really have any news on the docket.
No.
New job, same frustration. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now you're just out here avoiding any of these dogs from ripping off your limbs. You want to tell that story? So Xavier's back at the FedEx doing a little delivery action, and he's got so you tell a story. There's a story you got of one of your, you didn't work with this guy, but one of your guys you do work with told you the story, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, this story, I think it's pretty aged, but it's new to me, and I guess it'll be new to the audience. But yeah. I work at FedEx, and like one of my first days driving, the guy training me was like, hey, like, don't trust any dogs that you don't know. And I guess there was a driver in that same building a couple years ago who had got to a house and was delivering a package, and 2 dogs broke out of the screen door and tore this guy apart. And now 2 of his legs and 1 of his arms is out of use.
Oh,
completely,
no.
like paralyzed, destroyed all the nerves in it.
That's just,
and he so basically became, you know,
I'm a dog person, and like, I don't, you know, I like to think every dog's a good dog until it shows me otherwise. But
right,
like, God, just to have 2 legs and an arm fucked up
that's
beyond use.
Wild, man.
Can we agree too? Like, I do love dogs, but hot take incoming.
Okay.
As a society, we've almost made it seem like, oh, you don't, if there is any kind of dog you dislike, you're a bad human, you hate all dogs. Like, no, there's a lot of dogs out there that, you know, I could go without.
Shithead dogs.
Boy, I've got a take on that one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I was just talking about
can
this
of worms now
with some folks back home, some of my friends in good old Ramsey, Illinois.
Shouts out.
Yes, sir. I don't like Chihuahuas at all, brother.
Yeah, dude.
At all. Like, they're not cute, first of all.
I can generally agree.
They just shake a lot. I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable because I don't know if you're
anxiety.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like them.
What's wrong with that thing? Why is it shaking? Oh, that's just what they do.
Yeah, that's just what they do. Why did we breed them to that point?
Why did we?
No.
Who decided that was okay?
Right.
And they're yippee.
Yeah.
No, I'm agreeing. Team fuck Chihuahuas.
Yeah, let's get that trending or whatever.
And also, I'll say it too. Team mostly fuck mini dachshunds, because those cocksucking
Oh yeah,
dogs,
they're mean, brother.
Yeah, and they're vindictive.
I've got a scar on my hand from a dachshund.
Really?
Yeah, bit me right between the fingers.
Like I said, don't get me wrong. I have met some like dachshunds that are pretty good and well behaved dogs, but the majority that I've met and some have experience with are the worst.
Do you want to go into detail on that? It's funny because I was just talking about Oliver the other day.
Oh God!
And that's who you're referring to.
I am. I mean,
this specific
that dog was the spawn of Satan. Like one of the few dogs that I've been like close encountered with for a long time, and the dog was just like, nope,
just
I don't
never
care to
came
do
around.
anything. No, I'm going to poop in corners, and I know I pooped in a corner. Oh, you found it. Time for me to hide. Just like this the worst. Just the worst.
What a guy.
What a guy. That dog. Ruined me for the whole breed of dogs, I'd say.
Well, and a large part of it is, I think a lot of times dogs and their owners, and I think that, God forbid Emily ever listen to this, but I don't think she was necessarily
an attentive dog owner.
Yeah. Well, not to disparage, Emily and anything there, but I think that's my take quite often. But I do think that, like Brady is definitely onto something with Chihuahuas and dogs of that sort. It's just, and they have kind of like the small man syndrome, but I think it's okay sometimes to be like, yeah, I didn't fuck with it. Why is society more accepting of people saying, I hate cats? But like, you meet somebody that says, I hate dogs, you have a whole image of them.
Because I think
here it comes.
Here it comes. I'll prove my point.
Because here's the thing. Let's be honest about it. If people think of a cat, you're like, oh, way more like,
nope.
Okay, sure, that's a take. That's a stance. But a cat is like less predictable typically than a dog, I would say. cats are going to change on a dime. They're like the Sour Patch Kids sometimes, dude. You'll be petting them, and then they're like, all right, I'm done being pet. And bite you, claw at you. Typically, you can read when a dog is agitated, and you know to, like, back the fuck up. Like, you're like, all right, this dog's not
I've never experienced that with a cat, dude. I grew up with cats.
Bullshit. There's never experienced a cat being like, oh, I'm done with this action. Like, hissing at you or clawing at you.
I don't know what you did to your cats, but
my cats.
Feels like a Bob problem.
Look, I'm not saying that it was always my cats that were like that. I had cats that were not like that all the time. I'm talking a lot of cats I've encountered. Some have been like that. Not all. I'm just saying it's more likely for a cat to be like, give you some attitude than it is for a dog to give you some attitude. I think dogs definitely can be more hyper, and they're going to be up in your stuff. So, like, if you count that as like a behavior that you're like, oh, I'm so annoyed by this dog, it wants attention, then that's one thing. But I just think that the cats are more willing to throw violence at you.
It's a cliche, but I think my thing with cats is you got to, like, earn it.
Yeah.
You can't just roll up to a cat and be its best friend, except I just did that, yesterday, Brooke?
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. But you can't just generally roll up to a cat and it be your best friend. You gotta put in the work for cats, and it's worth it in the end.
But and that's the thing about cats too, is they know when you don't want. They like the hard game, right? Like, you don't give a cat attention, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? It rubs up against you and shit. It's like, oh, give me attention. But if you're like, hi there, kitty, and you like want to give it attention, the cat's like, no, fuck you. I'm not into it. And that's when they give you the paw and the swipe.
I do not hate cats.
I didn't say you hated cats. I didn't say I hated cats.
And I'm allergic to cats. But
I'm talking about what the perception is. You're saying, why do people feel like cats are, it's okay for people to be like, oh, fuck cats, but people get weirded out if you're like, oh, fuck dogs. I'm saying it's perception of cats.
I'm still saying that.
It is weird. It's a weird societal thing that we've concocted.
I don't think it's that weird. That's what I'm trying to say, because cats are the more wild card. They're more wild card than dogs. They're more independent.
I'll tell you this. I'll walk up to any house that has a cat on the porch. But
correct.
If you have a dog just sitting on the porch, I'm not walking up.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Also,
I understand that, but that's different in the sense of, like,
this is
just
not
because of the size of the animal.
My favorite pet that I've ever had and ever will be was a dog. I do have love for a lot of dogs. I love my cousin's dog, Grim. Great dog. And so I'm not trying to come across as anti-dog. I'm trying to stick up for cats. And in this case, I just think it's crazy that, first of all, if you get mice in the house, who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters. Cats. Oh. You're going to call cats. And cats almost every time will take care of those mice. You might get a guard dog and somebody breaks in the house and this thing will be all friendly Bob, friendly Joe, and come up licking, kissing, all this stuff, But cat, they see mice, they kill mice. That's what they do.
It's the thing.
Yeah, there's usefulness to it. But dogs are useful too. Hunting dogs and,
True.
Obviously fucking...
we're not going against dogs here.
Yes, thank you. So you're on my page?
No, I'm with you 100%.
I'm just talking
I am a preferred cat guy. I like cats more.
There's
it's the take, man.
Okay,
I like cats more. I have a dog, and it's probably the best dog. Everybody's dog's the best dog, but mine is actually. But we have a pretty cool cat also. And yeah, that cat, sometimes I'll be petting him, doing a little love, scooping him up a little bit, and he's like, all right, brother, I'm out. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
But I get it, because I'm the same way. Sometimes I don't want to be messing with, man.
You know what? I'm fucking done here. Stop fucking with me. I get it.
Brooke, cats or dogs? Okay, see?
So clearly I'm outnumbered in the studio here. I'm not anti-cat. I'm just more pro-dog. Well, and I understand why people are more pro-dog.
Highly successful Broadway play dogs.
It wouldn't have been exciting. You don't have to work for a love of dog. You got to work for the love of the cat, so it makes it better for a play. Because there's a little drama there.
This is a pro-cat podcast.
It's not an anti-cat podcast. I'm not trying to make
anti-dog. But I'm just fighting back a little bit on cats' behalf. And I also think that if you can hate all cats, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You hate one dog, you're
weird.
Yeah. Okay, I do agree with you there. people definitely get a little like overzealous when they're like, "What do you mean you don't like dogs? You must be a psychopath or something." Like that's a little far. Like let's be honest, dogs are a ball of energy, and like you got to be willing to put up with that ball of energy, and not everybody is or wants to. So like that's cool. That's your decision. So no, I agree. People shouldn't be shaming others if they don't like dogs. But what I'm saying is, if you get shamed because you like cats more than dogs, that's maybe understandable.
What if there are other pets that people rode for that? Like, we've got a bearded dragon. Like, what if people rode that hard for bearded dragons?
Dude.
Like, if you don't like bearded dragons, I don't know what's wrong with you, man.
I think there is.
I think we should go hard.
There's a total, like, I mean, the reptile community goes hard.
They do,
about
that's
reptiles.
true, yeah.
Let's be honest. If you're a reptile person, you're a reptile
in.
person.
Yeah, you're
you
in
probably
there.
got like 3 anacondas and like
I don't know about that.
Bro,
That's wild work.
hey, I worked with some reptilian folk.
Yeah?
At Top Shelf.
Bankers?
No.
Oh.
It wasn't the insurance company. Who knew? For some reason, all the reptilian folk were at the weed place I worked at. What's the correlation there?
Interesting.
There seems to be some correlation between trauma and reptile folks. What's up with that? We'll research that and bring it up on a future show probably. Yeah. But reptilian folk, how do they like to be addressed? The reptile
Probably
community? Not
not like that. If I had to guess.
So
I was going to make a statement, thought better than it.
Come on, dog. Yeah, the people in the reptile world, they love them some reptiles, and that
they do. They do go hard for them.
And they have like reptiles. That's my little.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Dyslexia coming through. Anyway.
Reptile sounds awesome. Actually,
it's Reptar's cousin, dog.
Like an obstacle course for lizards.
Yeah. Reptile.
They do like trade conventions where they'll sit there and sell all these animals, and they'll bring in all their other reptile folk, and they'll buy and sell all these different reptile animals. I don't know. That's a whole world. That's for sure.
Since this has turned into the pet cast now.
No, I was gonna. Yeah, I kind of was curious about like
what are your thoughts on exotic animals? How do you feel about keeping them as pets?
What's the most Hoosier pet?
Oh man, that's a good question.
We have not answered the exotic ones yet.
Do you think there's a correlation of the more exotic the pet? Does it also mean maybe the more Hoosier?
No,
I think those are going to be
exotic animals.
Like I don't think
there's rich
Hoosiers are going to be running around with like
there's rich
a kangaroo in the backyard.
No, they won't have a kangaroo. They'll have like a few alligators. Like if you have multiple alligators chilling out in your backyard, is that Hoosier?
And what do we define? I've had my takes off air with Bob about what are pets and what are not pets.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a whole quandary.
I mean, yeah, so about like a little over a year ago now, going on 2 years ago, Bob and I went down to his cabin.
It's been a while.
And we were tripping on,
LSD, Dewey.
You don't want any part of this.
Yeah. And we're about at the peak, the height of it. Bob's calling me out of the river because he's like, we got to go back and feed the pig. And I'm like, well, I'm not running on pig time, dude.
I'm on my time, baby.
We got a pet pig.
Oh, I've met him.
Oh, yeah. She's only about 75, 80 pounds, not like a massive pig.
So,
but it was like, the pigs used to eating at about 5 o'clock. Here it is about 8 o'clock at night. The sun's going down. The sun's going down.
Pig is off its eating schedule.
The sun's going down. And I'm like, Xavier, let's go. The sun's going down. We got to get up there and feed the pig, this and that. He's like, brother, I can feel all the history in this river right now. I just got to.
Yeah. You going to leave that?
Yeah, thank you.
So I get him out and he's all bent out of shape for having to leave and be on the pig schedule. So he goes on a rant about pigs and they shouldn't be pets. Because also when we get up there, the pig's making all this and that noise about me. I'm like, she's just wilding because she's hungry, dude, and she's waiting to be fed.
Here's what I said. I said, you hear that sound I'm making? I said, that's disappealing to us because we are hunters of this animal. I said, we are meant to hunt. I was like,
it's not a meow.
Yeah, I was like, that's supposed to deter us.
It is a defense mechanism. There always is. But they make.
So I was trying in my
make cute sounds.
Stage.
Sense, yeah.
I was trying to convey because on the back of this pet food bag, it was showing like the proper healty size of a pig's ass.
There was like underfed and overfed sizes.
And I was like, dude, what are we doing here?
This is too much.
So and then we're inside, pig's going crazy. Bob starts giving me carrots, and he's like, "Oh, just give it." And again, I'm tripping at this point, and the pig starts doing somersaults and rolls on the ground.
No, just like circles, not somersaults.
Dude,
He's
I'm
exaggerating.
And
I
I'm
might have
like,
seen somersaults.
I was like, I knew that I was tripping, but I also knew what I was seeing was reality, so it was really throwing me for a loop. And I'm like, I started freaking out. And I'm throwing the carrots, like, and
eat them.
so in that sense, and I don't think
I saw Babe.
pigs aren't exotic pigs; they're exotic adjacent because they're not normal.
Right,
They're
right.
not normal. It's exotic adjacent. That's a great way to put it.
And
But like
that was my
lions,
take.
and monkeys, and are snakes and things, are those exotic? Or have they entered?
I think that's like
mainstream?
almost Hoosier activities at this point. Like having snakes there. You got to go get mice at the store that are frozen to feed them. That's wild.
crickets and shit.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And then, like, what about, I don't know, it's just pets that just don't do anything. Like, if somebody had, like, a pet tarantula, like, oh, it's going to walk on my arm every once in a while. It's like, what?
Yeah, I don't understand. You just watch it. Like,
what about bird people?
ooh,
Bird, exotic pet, not exotic pet.
does it depend on the bird?
Is a bird exotic adjacent? Is it in the same kind of category like a pig?
No, I just listened to this podcast that was talking about the least talked about things, like things that should be talked about more.
Oh, is this one of them?
Well, so a specific one. And one of the things that was like how cool parrots are is not really talked about. They're saying that parrots are pretty dope in nature. They live to be about 80.
Yeah.
They're
nature.
literally birds that can like hear and mimic sounds to the point that it's like they're talking.
Yeah.
And their colors are pretty cool too. So there's
Little toucan
and
Sam
out of all
action.
things, I mean, this wasn't just animal talk. It was just literally things that aren't talked about enough. And them saying how the coolness of parrots is
Not talked about.
Not talked about enough.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think parrots maybe aren't talked about enough, but I also think that if you like own a parrot, that's fucked up. Those things are let it live in the wild, dude. Like, what do you got? This big ass bright bird that's just going to be loud all the time. Like, that's unappealing.
Well,
let me hear it. Why have a pet parrot?
but if that
Unless
is the
you're a
reason you
pirate.
shouldn't, if that's the reason you shouldn't have a parrot, I would say that pigs are way louder than parrots.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd like to see some study on that.
Yeah, I'd like to see the decibels
Both very smart
for
though.
each.
Pigs
Yeah, super smart animals,
pigs
both of them.
can be louder, but I think on a more consistent basis, the birds, and especially like a macaw, or
The birds are more talkative.
Yeah, they're like louder more consistently.
Gotcha.
But the peak loudness, pig can get there if you
Yeah,
try.
yeah.
If you want to make that pig squeal, she'll get
yeah.
loud. Like you go and you give her like a bear hug and you try to put her in like a full Nelson. Oh, that
Why would you do this?
to make it squeal as loud as you
No,
could?
I don't want that.
I've
It's
never
awful.
Going
I
back to
wouldn't recommend,
Brady's
but I'm just
original
saying you
question.
could.
Sorry, it's not used to trying to balance all three. But
all
going
right.
back to Brady's original question, I've never really thought about it, and I would say like my initial reaction would be like, oh, like I'm against exotic animals. You're taking them out of their natural habitat, this and that. On a deeper level, thinking about it a little more, I think going and hearing more and more animals being endangered and stuff, if we could prolong some of these species' existence by owning them, maybe I'm a little
intervening.
more open to it.
Yeah, like at what point does it become conservation almost?
Sure.
Yeah,
Like
I never thought of
The
that.
blue macaws or whatever that don't exist anymore, they made that Rio movie about. Those things
Yeah.
are just gone now.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore.
Yeah, so if people own some pet
It's a
lions
fine line.
and that brings them back from being endangered and stuff, and I don't know, I can kind of be on board because I think it'd be a sad world if you start to see, some of these major animals that like within
Just
the last
disappear.
30, 40 years
Right.
have
Yeah.
because of
It's a
hunting
fine
them.
line to walk because, right, like if you want to have animals that you're, keeping around for conservation purposes, but if you just then allow anybody to be a breeder of these animals, then you get a situation like you got in the Everglades where you get invasive ass snakes that just come in and
Yeah.
then take over an entire ecosystem of animals and end up killing off other animals, subsequently. So it's like that. You got to really tiptoe that fine line of like who gets to be part of that conservation effort and how much free reign you just give Hoosiers to do breeding activities. Because, right, like you see a lot of Hoosiers out there that love to consider themselves breeders of dogs, of reptiles.
Yeah, everybody's a breeder.
Yeah. It's kind of like the influencer. You're either an influencer or you're a breeder, or that's the power couple probably these days. The woman is the influencer because she can post all these nice videos of all these little animals that they're breeding, because the guy is some sort of weed smoking degenerate that's also breeding animals. I feel like I've met these exact people a few times in my existence.
I think so. Sometimes I'll fall into like a Wikipedia hole, and we've been talking about parrots. Do you know we used to have like endemic parakeets around here, and we killed them off. We just killed them off because farmers thought they were allowed. They were like, these dudes suck. Get them out of here.
What was it?
The Carolina parakeet.
Endemic, I think,
and they were like
not domestic.
out to here. No, they were like from here. Maybe I misused that word, but they were like, this was their natural range.
And we were just
like, get out of here, boys.
Because they're loud?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, no, I guess maybe I'm misusing that. Is endemic mean just like not as pets, right? Like
no, I thought endemic was like they are of this area.
Look it up,
they
Tony.
Are from here. Tony, pull it.
That's a good word pool. I just learned what endemic means live on air.
Right?
No,
I might be super wrong also.
No,
There's also
how different could you imagine what the United States would be like if we decided to make turkeys the national bird instead of the eagle? Like,
would we be eating eagles on Thanksgiving?
Ooh. I bet eagle meat's gross.
Do you think?
I can't even imagine. I bet that's nasty.
Is it super lean because they're so badass?
Right?
They just have the leanest of meat.
Like, would we have just super breeded the eagles in this alternate world? So there's like, there's a lot of turkeys.
And then Chihuahuas wouldn't exist because they'd be getting plucked out of yards.
Because there'd be so many eagles.
Yeah.
I guess because turkeys aren't really flying around, so they were easy to domesticate those bad boys.
Run up on them, get them in a sleeper hold, and it's done.
But bald eagle, I mean, what a beautiful animal.
Honestly, yeah. Insane. Yeah, I can't, like, if those are the choices, how do you not go eagle?
Nah, I'd be for maybe not domestication of bald eagles. No, I don't want to domesticate a bald eagle.
No.
Those dudes are like 6 foot tall.
If you tried.
Those are like NBA point guards.
And bringing it back to Klay Thompson.
The bald eagles are the...
Eagles are shooting 28% from three this year. It's tough to watch.
I want to rehash the Hoosier animal discussion because I think we left out maybe the most Hoosier animal to have as a pet.
What's that?
Like a ferret?
Oh, yeah.
Or other things kind of in that... the rodent, or like a possum that you've collected from the outdoors, or a fucking squirrel. Like
North America's marsupial, baby.
But what do you think of those? Of that, like if you're in that, raccoon, possum, squirrel.
No, yeah, you can't
ferret,
do that.
Which one is the most Hoosier of all
First
that?
of all, possums are not cute, and I'm tired of trying to
of all this possum banter. All these people trying to tell you that possums are cute.
Dude, possums freak me the hell out, man. Like those things, they can live through anything.
They can. That's true. I do think they're kind of cute.
It's the tail. Their face is
the tail.
Gosh, but like the hissing. Oh my gosh, like it freaks me out.
You think they're living
I can see them being cute, but dude,
you think they're living like Ninja Turtles down in the sewers?
Big ass rat. My brother from the background chimes in.
Fucking peanut gallery back there. If we wanted you to talk, we'd have given you a mic.
Yikes.
Oh, I had to say it.
I mean, I've been engaging with both audience members today.
It's true.
So,
well, it's just like when you're a child. You're meant to be seen, not heard, unless talked to.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
Rough. Coming in hard on Billy. It's all right. Got to get the laughs when we can.
Man, speaking of Billy, we were just talking about Billy being at things that have happened through like our lives.
Yeah.
And remember that time you gator tackled that kid that was on a full ride scholarship to K-State? That was fantastic.
Oh, it's being described poorly again.
No, I don't think it is.
It was a gator roll.
I don't think it is.
It was. I had him wrapped around his ankle. He hit the spin move, and so then it made us both spin, and then his ankle then got
he's at fault.
Underneath.
He ruined his own life. I got you.
I'm saying it was a unfortunate set of circumstances that led to a pretty bad accident. But you know what? The dude's a lawyer now.
Is he really? Okay,
doing
good.
Just fine.
Yeah, it inspired him to go and take on injury cases.
Yeah.
Because at the time, his family didn't have the money to sue Bob for everything he has.
I can't verify that, but it sounds like it could track.
I didn't know that.
Bob
though.
actually changed this man's life for the better. Look at that.
Yeah, so fuck you guys.
Dude, I will never. Were you traumatized in that moment?
Traumatized is
A strong
a word.
Did you feel terrible?
Yes.
Did you feel bad
I
at all?
felt absolutely terrible. But like, I just, when something happens and there's nothing could be done to have changed that outcome. I wasn't doing anything nefarious or like out of the ordinary.
So for the audience that wasn't here to witness this,
I described it.
After you did, but you didn't describe the aftermath. Also, this man was on a full ride scholarship to Kansas State for track. His ankle broke. And his foot was turned in a 90-degree angle. I'm pretty sure he messed up some of his knee ligaments.
I don't know that to be true, but maybe.
We're going to run with it.
We're going to run with it. Yeah, it sounds good.
You know who couldn't run with it after that was Luke Hibbler.
Yeah, he sure couldn't. And associates.
Yeah. Look him up in his firm.
That's our first sponsor.
Hey, that would be good. Probably.
Bob's texting him right now like, hey, man.
I got an opportunity of a lifetime, brother.
You broke your ankle.
Let me break some other news to you. This podcast you can sponsor.
Oh.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
I thought you had something, something to announce, man.
That was me.
Okay, I got you.
Like I was
I'm
talking to him.
That was good.
Doing a play.
Is there anything, do we want to announce serious life things going on, Bob?
Do we want to announce
Is there
serious life
anything
things?
going on?
I'm getting married. You know that.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
So what else?
When's that?
Do you have serious?
I
Do
know.
you think I have something that I should bring out? Is there something I'm holding back?
No.
Am I forgetting something?
No. No, I was just bringing that up. But we haven't got back to Can I go back, though, and backtrack while we're talking about Hoosiers and Hoosier pets and stuff?
Ferrets?
And now that we have a guest on here, I don't know if you heard the episode where we were discussing ugliest,
Professions?
Yeah, professions where the people are the ugliest.
Oh, man, nah.
And my take...
So I'm two behind right now because I've been flying. I've been...
You're good.
Don't give them your take. Don't...
No, there's
you were
no
about
offense
to,
that
you were
haven't
about to
heard
say
it.
what it was.
I just wanted to ask if you listened to it before.
But Brady, if you say, all right, what's the most unattractive profession? And we've boxed that in by saying the profession that has the most unattractive people doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, not like unattractive, like
you think of the job and like, that's an unattractive job.
Not dirty
unappealing,
jobs.
yeah.
Just ones that you're like, oh, in my experience of dealing with anybody in that profession, they got some unattractive people in that line of work.
Okay. So I frequent dispensaries in the Las Vegas area.
That's a good
little
one.
indica helps the boys sleep.
That's a great point.
And I've not seen anything good going on in there at all.
Dispensary trolls.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe I didn't think of that one
That
before.
is a great pool, and
That's
that's why
a
I'm
good
glad
one.
I asked him.
There are some folks there. You're like, wow, did you didn't look in a mirror
at all
since like the last few years of your life?
Did I tell him what my take was? My number one pick, but that
I wanted to see if there was any others before you get into yours and ours. I'm going
to listen in, so I'm going to.
We'll hear it. We'll tell you. But I just was. I wanted to before we influenced you. I wanted
for another one. Okay.
See if there was any others that you had. If you were dwelling on it,
I had an immediate thought, and then it left me because I locked in. I was like, oh no, that's the one. I'm trying to think of what that thought was now, but
that's all right. I'll vamp and van.
It's gotta be this.
No, it's. I mean,
Dispensaries was a great pool.
Dispensaries is absolutely good.
Is it up there? Is Waffle House servers on there? Is that really rough to Waffle? I feel bad for just saying that.
Shitting on all Waffle House employees.
Oh my God.
They got hands though, so I mean they make up for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know. There's every once in a while, that cute single mom working that overnight shift at Waffle House.
You're right.
But
dispensaries, I deliver to a dispensary right out there off Peevely, and
rough, right? Yeah,
it's yeah, I agree. It can be a little shocking. Like, oh, bud, you haven't taken a shower in
a minute,
a couple weeks. Smell like patchouli.
Is that adjacent to GameStop employees?
Ooh, shouts out to Joe.
Hey.
Who was a GameStop employee for years. They're a different breed a little bit.
Yeah.
GameStop employees are more of the nerds that don't smoke as much weed as the dispensary folk. The dispensary folk are like GameStop employees if they were just high all the time.
Why is GameStop constantly in the news?
Answer your call live on air.
Hey, here we go.
The scam likely.
I answer it live on air.
But what were you saying? Sorry.
Nah, man, GameStop seems to be like consistently in the news for like not anything to do with gaming.
I think it's because people are curious of how the hell they're still around.
Well, that's a thing. But like there was the meme stock situation.
Yeah,
and then there's like
situation was good.
Them consistently just being like called out for being shitty to their employees. Like that's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Like you always hear like every year something crops up. It's like, yeah, GameStop employees living in poverty, being whipped as they get into work.
I
it's
think
like,
it must garner a lot of attention anytime GameStop comes up. People are like, oh, GameStop, I know them. Click. You know,
maybe that's it.
Drives traffic. I mean, that's why there's motivation behind everything that's published. You know how to drive traffic, Brady.
It's true, I do.
My take on that episode, though, by the way, was I think carnival workers, carnies.
Oh, that's definitely
are per capita.
Of course.
That's huge.
And it's like, you know, I have self-awareness. I'm no Leonardo DiCaprio, so I'm not trying to say that.
Right.
Like, but I'm also saying that carnival workers.
What do you think? Carny workers you've seen in your life, more of them missing teeth,
won.
more of them have their teeth?
It's been, for obvious reasons, a very long time since I've been to a carnival.
It's been a long time.
Since Paul Walker died.
Have you been to a carnival since Paul Walker died?
No, I can't think that I have, actually.
Was it that one and that we got
It
downpoured
was,
on?
actually, yeah.
For Ariel Speedwagon?
No, so now you're bringing, not on purpose. Like, I had to work at some carnivals, thus making me a
I didn't go by
carny.
choice.
You were a carny?
I guess, yeah, in
No.
retrospect.
You were like a vendor at a carnival.
Yeah,
it's
that's
different
fair,
than being
I
a
guess.
traveling carny, setting up the rides.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And doing the game
But yeah,
booth.
I did have to go for work a couple times back in the old radio days, and yeah, dude, rough out there. It's. I will say though, the folks like in the food, like the food vendors that I think aren't like part of the carnival, but like also travel with them, much better.
Dip them in the fry, like the funnel cake folk.
Yeah, those folks are better. The lemon shake up folks are usually
Okay.
Feeling pretty nice.
yeah.
Good. Yeah. A lot better
There's
than
levels to this carny shit.
Donnie Boy on the fucking merry-go-round.
We should come up with topics every week, though, like that. Not ugliest, but, you know, always. I guess this week was...
Well, we were talking about Hoosier animals.
What's the most Hoosier pet to own?
And I think ferrets is up there.
What was your
Have
name?
you ever been to a house that has ferrets and
Yeah,
it
they
doesn't
stink,
smell
dude.
like
They stink.
every single house that I've been in that has ferrets?
I think ferrets is a good pull
you
on that
know
one.
immediately it's a ferret house when you walk in that
Would
house.
you be not a Hoosier, and if you bought a ferret, now you'd be in the Hoosier category?
Yes. I think that's how it goes. It's your Hoosier starter pack. You buy a ferret, you're giving
well,
a ferret. And you're like, well, I'm a
This
Hoosier
is my
now.
life now. Lean into it.
Anything else in that category? I think we touched on all the Hoosier pets.
I think like as far as like
Is
pets
fish-
that are readily
what are fish
available.
considered?
No, I think fish
not
are
Hoosier at all.
Nah, I think fish are a normal thing.
But like, what about if you've let your fish tank go without cleaning it for a little
yeah,
while?
then
Does it
that's-
then slip into Hoosier realm?
Well, by that, if you don't pick up dog shit in your backyard,
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big Hoosier sign, I would say.
right?
I grew up in a household that my family did not believe in picking dog shit up. They said it's part of nature now.
That belongs to the earth.
Would you say that you grew up in a Hoosier household?
I would say there was Hoosier tendencies.
There were some Hoosiery.
There was definitely Hoosier tendencies in our household. Yes, I would say that I've grown out of those tendencies mostly because I've become aware. I've broken that Hoosier bubble. I'm breaking the cycle.
There you go.
But you could take the boy out of Hoosier, but sometimes you can't take the Hoosier out of the boy, and that's fine. First of all, I think
I'm
we're
a
saying
South City
we're
Hoosier
talking
through and
like
through.
Hoosiers is terrible. Like I have a lot of Hoosier friends.
yeah.
I have a lot of Hoosier. You know, it's like
Jamie won't stand for Hoosier talk. If I say a phrase that it's like Hoosier talk, she'll be like, no. And she'll shut that shit down. Shut that shit down.
he's a Maryland Heights elitist. We get it.
Yeah, Kirkwood graduate.
Look out.
Oh,
or
my-
something. Parkwood, maybe. Parkway. I don't
it's
even
like
know.
if I sat here and we're trying to say that, you know, I'm not, you know, a Hoosier. And also, we have some actual Hoosier listeners out in
Indiana Hoosiers.
Indiana.
Hey,
So
Those are a different breed of Hoosiers.
Yeah, that's like
They're proud of being Hoosiers.
I think Brady was going somewhere else with that. Though.
nah, man. I got the Illinois-Indiana rivalry like ingrained in me, so I'm like, those Indiana folk, man.
Wow.
Lame ass Hoosiers.
Illinois. Well, I think we just live in a good belt of, and for those who aren't, I guess if you're not St. Louis, just Hoosier, what would be a synonym to Hoosier? Trashy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Trash
man, I was going to go there.
If you're saying
maybe what's the word? Trying to think of the word. I can't think. Like, so you've watched National Lampoon's Christmas, right?
Yeah.
This is when Uncle Eddie comes to town. That's the Hoosier.
Okay.
That's the Hoosier cousin.
Yeah, different than trashy.
So on Urban Dictionary, they have St. Louis definition of Hoosier. Generally means redneck, hick, or someone from outside of St. Louis or certain areas of St. Louis. The word itself, its most common definition, have its origins in the state of Indiana, obviously. And so they just talk about it being derogatory in St. Louis. Classically.
Thanks. I don't think I learned anything there.
Urban Dictionary, that was great.
I could have spotted
through all that incoherent rambling.
Nobody has learned
anything.
anything. Awesome.
You've been awarded 0 points.
Like
and
Klay
may God
Thompson.
have mercy on your soul.
Our podcast is so boring that my brother's watching Summer League basketball over listening to any of this BS. Or is it?
Well, I told him not to chime in, so he's just following orders.
He's just going along with it. What's speaking of Summer League basketball, interested on your guys' Bronny takes.
Oh.
Have you guys discussed that yet?
Well, John's excited for the 4th of July.
Yeah. We'll have to get into the AI segment here soon.
Yeah,
for sure. Because
so if you're not familiar, we've
been using Chat GPT.
Yes, I have heard.
To do summaries for the show, and then we've been recapping the next week by reading it and getting a nice chuckle.
Fantastic bit.
I
love it.
And ChatGPT seemed to think that Bronny getting drafted to the Lakers had us all excited for 4th of July activities.
Put it all together. It was all one sentence.
And it was so good. But man, at first I said it's nepotism at its finest. But
it is.
No, well, LeBron.
If LeBron wasn't his dad, he would not have been drafted.
Well, Bronny James, but also it's like, is that a problem? Do you want to? Horses get paid all the time to be studs, right?
Okay, we're gonna sit here and say that just because he's the right bloodline, that this guy is
saying like, if Bronny wasn't Bronny's son, but he is. Like, you can't take that out of the equation. Like the kid, like
athletic genes don't get passed.
Yeah, Michael
like
Jordan's
kids
were
talking about?
Dog water at basketball.
I agree. That doesn't mean yes, but I'm saying, say that athletic genetics don't get passed down. Like,
it just doesn't, though. It's proven. Like, it's different from horse breeding than it is human breeding.
You are way more likely to become a professional athlete if your parents are.
You're more likely, but it's not all about genetics. It's also about just as much as their connections.
You're already walking back your original statement.
I'm saying that you're not purely going to be a good basketball player because you had a dad that's a good basketball player. It's not. It's like genetics might help, but I'm saying it doesn't help nearly as much as a lot of other factors. The main one being that if your parent was a professional, they're already in that professional world and are going to bring you into that professional world at a much earlier age and time than anybody else would have access to. And so whether or not you want to pursue that, you're going to have those means and that accessibility to try to follow your parents' footsteps easier if they were professional. But I don't think it plays as much into genetics as you kind of make it sound like. So I don't think that taking a flyer on somebody just because they got the genetic makeup of LeBron James, that's not much of an argument to stand on.
But I don't think it's just because of that.
I think a lot of like the backlash is it nepotism? Probably, yeah. But I think a lot of it's just like folks really like to hate LeBron James.
That's true.
And I think that's a big part of this whole thing.
Yes, because going back to that, at Bronny's last 2 Summer League games, he had a combined 25 points. He was shooting 50% from the field. He had a couple steals, couple blocks. Now, just to push back on your comment of taking a flyer on somebody. Now, they didn't just draft, Bronny's, like, this is somebody who grew up playing AAU and he was playing at a high level of basketball. And like you said, he's been like, who better to be taught the game of basketball than from LeBron James himself? And he's been around a bunch of, and if you look at, I think the USA under 18 team right now, I think over half of it is former NBA players' sons.
Yeah, it is.
So I was not saying that he can't be an effective NBA player going in the future. What I was saying is that, yes, he got this chance because of who his dad is, and he has that. He would not have been drafted. He wouldn't have been brought up this far along in development if he was not a professional athlete's son, an NBA player's son already, right? If his dad was Johnny whoever, just a regular Joe, but Bronny was his same
Johnny
level.
Flynn.
If that was his dad. Then and he had the same level of basketball playing field that like us had. We got, right? He most likely wouldn't be in the situation that he's in currently. Is the point that I'm trying to make?
Let me guess. Next, you're going to tell me that Northwest wouldn't have been Simba if she wasn't Kim K and Kanye's daughter.
There might be some correlation to that, maybe.
But speaking of, should we have Brady read last week's?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm with it.
That'd be good. We do a little. We'll catch up on the AI summary, and we'll have Brady read it so we can just purely react. Although maybe you should read it, Nick. You deliver it better. Then Brady can really be unbiased in it. I don't know.
I deliver it better than Brady. That's not fair. Brady's never read it.
All right,
probably
fine.
Right. But
I've been outvoted, I guess. Wah, 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 wah. Nick brings up a topic and he's not even prepared.
Just read the episode title. It's funny. What'd you say?
Oh, I was like, you introduced us into a new topic and you had to go ahead and pull it up on the phone.
I'm still thinking about Minnesota Timberwolves legend.
Oh, I was distracted because I got a fantasy update. Juan Soto is going oaf today. So
going ape?
But here we go.
All right, what do we got here? So Forest Park is for lovers.
Last week's episode.
Welcome back for episode 13, where we couldn't decide what to lead with this week, so we're starting with a big shout-out to all our listeners. Thanks for sticking with us through the chaos.
That's you, Bill.
Big Bill.
And the thousands of others, but mostly Bill.
First up, the MLB All-Star Game and the rendition of the national anthem at the Home Run Derby that made headlines, proving once again that even when it comes to baseball, controversy can hit a home run.
Brady, what's up? Did you see that national anthem?
I did.
You think she was drunk?
I do. She came out and was like, hey,
okay, just because she said that. Just because she said that doesn't mean she was drunk.
You think she's not drunk?
I'm going to go.
I think it's a PR spin. I think she's like, let me just go to rehab. I'll be fine.
Man, I don't know.
All right.
It was rough. It was rough.
It was rough.
In bizarre news, former President Donald Trump narrowly escaped an attempted assassination. Seriously, how does that even happen? We delve into the hot button topic.
we talked about it.
Did you put the comedic spin on it? Because this is pretty straightforward.
I said make it mildly humorous.
Yeah, I was going to say this is.
He said this is
straight script.
All right.
Yeah, we got to start leaning. We got to go more humor. Well, let's keep going.
Well, on a lighter side, or maybe not. Tenacious D's Kyle Gass cracked a joke down under that fell flatter than a pancake in a skillet.
Single pancake.
Sorry, mate. Better luck next time.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Was that in Australia?
Yeah, it was down under.
What?
How
do they know that?
How did they know what?
Yeah, GBT. Did you put Australia in your description?
I think so.
Okay.
Sorry, we keep interrupting. The situation in Australia.
Switching gears to the current state of American politics, we're navigating through more landmines than a drunk squirrel in a firework factory.
Yeah! See, there it is. There's that AI coming through with the comedy.
Man, this guy's got punchlines, boy. When did politicians become celebrities anyway? Seinfeld accent.
Didn't say that.
And it's got the bass line.
We'll add that post.
Yeah.
And speaking of feeling icky, political talk often leaves us reaching for the hand sanitizer. Can we talk about literally anything else, please?
See, so it's like, people get our feelings if they read the summary.
Misinformation, society's sworn enemy, or just a pesky sibling. Let's debate whether capitalism fuels the fire of untruth and greed. Are people only nice because they expect a return on investment?
That's real, though.
That is real.
This is pretty well worded.
Meanwhile, meme culture, you tired, bro? When did everyone start believing everything they see online? We've got receipts.
We didn't have
receipts. You didn't have receipts? I was going to say, I
was zero receipts.
Man.
But really, though, everybody believes everything they see online. That's why
true.
We have,
absolutely.
That's why we live where we do in the world.
That's why I keep posting Klay Thompson goat memes in the hopes.
The world believes it.
Right?
It's like, he's not washed. Look at this online.
Look at my guy.
Klay Thompson might now lead the podcast in references.
Probably.
I'm coming in and making a difference early here.
Your presence is felt.
Let's not forget to revisit last week's episode where ChatGPT summarized our shenanigans. Thanks for keeping us on track, AI overlord. Why aren't major news events treated like major news events anymore? Dead celebrity, sports tournaments, Copa America, Euros, you name it, are just background noise now?
Copa America heroes.
Copa America Euros. What? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like Copa America Euros?
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
like comma, you know.
Ama. And finally, the age-old question, what's the worst month for sports fans? Discuss amongst yourselves.
You did.
Oh, did you?
You did.
What was the consensus?
You're going to have to listen.
Oh, boy. He said, get your shit together, boy.
We'll tell them, right? I'll tell them.
Yeah, it's July.
Wait,
Is it?
It's July.
All-Star game?
But that's like it.
Yeah,
What the
that's
hell
true.
else?
That's fair. Okay.
And
gotcha.
then shortly thereafter is August, but that's only because there's only starting up of football happening.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, not much else. But then the other months start to really kick it off.
All right. And finally,
February was the
that
other
was the
one
last
that was
one.
talked about because, like,
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like February's got a...
you have Super Bowl in February, so that's a major dealio.
True.
And you do have basketball and hockey going on in February, so it's not like there's
It's like
nothing
the
happening.
doldrums of the season.
It is. But I think the doldrums of like summer and baseball season is worse than July and the August.
Okay. Before we sign off, let's take a moment to appreciate urban parks and declare Forest Park the best park in the country. Don't at us. You grew up from a better park than that one. What are we talking about?
Brady wanted to get into this.
Hot take.
Oh,
Tower Grove Park eats Forest Park.
well, maybe it depends on what you're looking for.
You're wildin'.
It depends on what you're looking for.
Not getting hit by a Frisbee, mostly, is what I'm looking
Getting hit
for.
by- There's a lot of room to spread out in Forest Park.
That's true.
You could sit there and you could.
My guy, see?
What's Peanut Gallery got to say? I didn't hear him.
Festival of Nations, baby.
Well, okay, yeah, sure. And there's a great farmers market at Tower Grove
xenophobic.
also. Look, I'm
Bob
a Tower
doesn't like
Grove
that.
Park lemming too, but I'm just trying to tell you that when you're talking about variety, there's more variety at Forest Park. There's museums, there's zoos, there's paddle boats, there's an ice skating rink, there's restaurants, there's golf courses, there's greenhouses.
Sounds like an open-air mall.
Yeah, but all of it's free, brother. So what are we even talking about here? Tower Grove is great. Don't get me wrong. It's an underrated park. But I'm just saying, Forest Park, best park in the country. It's bigger than Central Park in New York. So don't even at me like it says in the
Just say
summary.
exactly. Don't add
I
us.
don't think the size of
The park matters.
yeah.
It does, because then you can spread out and not have to feel like you're right on top of other people in the park. So there's more room in Forest Park to be spread out and not be on top of
I
people.
feel more crowded in Forest Park than when I'm in Tower Grove Park.
Facts.
Well, that has to do with just popularity of the park in the town.
Hidden gem.
Yeah,
Tower
you got to
Grove's
get
a
the
hidden
underrated
gem.
gym in there, man.
But I'm still telling you, there's
Tower
plenty of
Grove is
room
your
in Forest
home
Park.
turf.
Okay,
You're pulling your
The
butt cheeks
stomping
apart,
grounds,
and you're
right?
pooping all over it.
I'm
Not even going to pick it up.
I'm just telling you that
Good call
you
back.
can't
Man.
compare the two. They're different. They're different parks, and it depends on what you're looking for out of your park experience, on whether or not you want to pick between
Okay.
Tower Grove Park and Forest Park. We're splitting hairs here, boys. But I'm telling you, this Forest Park stands head and shoulders above any park in the country, and people need to recognize. None of this New York elitist. Central Park is the best. Shut up.
All I'm saying is I've never been saved by a pigeon lady in Forest Park
Have you tried?
once.
Well, respect. Did you know, interesting about pigeons is they were a domesticated animal,
They were.
and they only exist in cities because of humans bringing them there and using them as carrying, little fucking
Pigeons
male
were created by the government to spy on us. Have you
All right,
ever?
go ahead, take us down that rabbit hole.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty big conspiracy, but I think it's interesting. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
Yeah.
I think I have.
Yeah, we used to have pigeons in our yard. They're cute as hell.
No, I'm not anti-pigeon. It's mainly a joke. I don't think pigeons.
Oh, come on! You should have stick with it longer than that. You can't just
We gotta
bail on the
double
joke
down.
in like two
But
lines later.
that is talked about. People think that
It is,
I'll
yeah.
let
That's
Brady
the nicest thing I've
real,
heard.
man.
I just got the last paragraph here. Thanks for tuning in to our whirlwind of topics today. Stay curious, stay caffeinated, and we'll catch you next time on Sit, Talk, and Listen. That's always one click away from a rabbit hole. Cheers.
See, so
Yeah, all right,
pretty
AI.
Thanks,
I
Brady.
did like the part where the AI said, thanks, AI overlord.
yeah, give it give itself a shout out.
Yeah, cool. AI, that's great.
Well, because now it's like a feedback loop, because each episode will talk about the AI summarizing our last episode. So then in each summary, I have to then summarize that we've talked about AI summarizing in the last one. So it's just a continuous feedback loop of AI patting itself on the back.
Bob had said that he wanted ChatGPT to be a sponsor, and then butchered their name several times.
As I said, it's Chat GDP. I want it to be gross domestic product is what I want it to be, but my brain just can't seem to wrap around.
I should have Chat GPT like write out a whole episode for you. Just go full AI on it one time.
I think we've discussed that.
Like, here's the topics.
I have to fuck around with it more because I'm not super privy on, like, do I just feed it in? I don't have episodes transcripted out, right? Like,
right. No,
have to
clearly
feed in the audio and let it do its thing, or just like put a bunch of summaries of what each episode.
Oh, like you mean like actually?
No, just like straight up. No, have it like
pop out like a script, essentially.
Yeah,
that's a good thought. It'd also be interesting to have Allen Iverson.
Yeah, that was more what I was hoping for.
We had AI write the synopsis of this episode.
Everybody has to wear shooting sleeves for the episode.
He said, practice.
But no, your idea of just sitting in, getting a whole script of it.
Yeah.
See what it comes up with after the whole roundabout here. See what it
Overlord.
It would be curious.
But we'd have to strictly follow it then?
Yeah.
But will we tell the audience we're doing that? Or just
for sure. I'd make a thing of it. Just like next week, next podcast, brother.
We're going
to let the AI
it'd be so bizarre. They'd be like, this is way too put together for these clowns.
Like,
they're saying full sentences.
But we'll do it next week.
All right. We'll give it a try.
Episode 15. Halfway to 30.
Vince Carter, baby.
Is that what the title of that one's going to be? Vince Carter, VC, episode 15?
What's the title of this episode going to be? Bob hates cats.
I think that's a good one.
Sure. No, because it's not true. It'd be a lie. We're not here to lie to our fans.
The deal was cat.
What's up with airline food?
Dude, I just recently started watching Seinfeld from the beginning on Netflix. I've never watched it continuously all the way through. I mean, I think it's living up to. My plan is to do this and then Curb. So just a lot.
Okay, just straight in Larry David.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, dude, I don't think it's overrated.
No, it's not. I think it's one of those rare things. It's like perfectly rated. Like, it is perfectly rated. What it is. Like,
can we
it's
agree
what people say it is.
George Costanza is the best character. Right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Even though my childhood crush was Elaine Bennis,
dude,
which is weird. God. But now as I've grown older, I'm like, no, that's people called me out for that when I was a kid. Like, what, Elaine? That's the hottest woman on the planet,
dude. I was just I thought you were going to backtrack from that because I was like,
what are you talking about?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus at Julie?
Yeah, and she's rich,
dude.
Which is. That's cool. Also,
was she rich before the show?
Yeah. Like, her family's like big dogs in France.
Oh,
rich.
wow.
Like,
so she didn't even need it.
No, she didn't need Seinfeld, but we appreciate it.
Was she Veep too?
She was Veep, yeah.
I mean, dude, Elaine is a smoke.
Oh, yeah? That's what.
Come on.
I don't know.
Be serious.
Her aura,
Be serious, yeah.
Her aura and everything, dude. You're not feeling it?
Fine.
Pam Beasley or Elaine?
Pam Beasley.
Oh, no, you got to go.
All right.
Even a St. Louis. I can't get behind this one.
Not later season Pam, earlier seasons Pam. Just by how she was acting, not because of the way she looked in later seasons.
I mean, she's not even.
She just started.
Rashida Jones is in that show.
Well, yeah,
and the character makes the mistake of.
But that wasn't the question.
Yeah, spoiler.
Hey, you haven't watched The Office. John Krasinski's an idiot.
He didn't choose Karen?
Dude, what was he doing?
You know that's Quincy Jones' daughter.
I do.
Awesome. That's awesome.
It's fantastic.
I love Quincy Jones. So talented.
Quincy Jones is a G.
Yeah.
Shit. Started off with old Frankie the Tanky Sinatra. And then went on to produce one of the greatest albums of all time. And
the Austin Powers soundtrack. Oh.
That too.
Wait, was that really him?
I think it was, yeah.
Wow.
That's out to the Thriller record. Also, we're using the same. We're using Shure SM7B microphones today. These are the same microphone that Michael Jackson used to record his vocals for that album, and it's also the like unofficial podcast mic for everybody out there. It's like if you're recording a podcast and you don't have this microphone, it's basically like you're not doing a podcast. It's how people like to treat it.
So this is our first episode.
Something like that.
Been practicing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel like got into a lot. I know Brady, not to put you on the spot, but you're in a bit of a time crunch, so I don't know what kind of wall we're up against.
I think we're doing all right still.
Speaking of the wall, that's a little transition going into was it Off the Wall? Yeah.
Off the Wall.
Yeah.
What was that?
Off the Wall? Isn't that a Michael Jackson album? Am I tripping?
I don't.
Against the Wall?
I believe you. I
think you're right.
Yeah, I might really just blew. Like, dude,
we're gonna have to call in Tony for this one.
What was it? Off the Wall?
Gosh, I might be really.
Man, yeah, we might be cooked after this.
Michael Jackson.
We all sit here looking at each other like,
oh no.
His 5th studio album, 1979.
Well, so I was right.
Off the Wall.
Thank
my guy.
Goodness.
My guy.
Yeah. I was like, gosh, I was trying to transition.
I was like, I feel like it's right, but I don't want to put myself out there like that.
Produced by Quincy?
Oh, let's find out. I started to listen to an audiobook of it's like Metallica's, basically biography, right? I think trying to remember what it's called, Through the Never or something, maybe. I don't know. But I just started listening to it, and it's all the early years and stuff now, and like just listening to all the conversation about Lars and stuff. I just don't get that guy. What a tool. Just always has been a tool bag, and always will be. He basically was like, I don't even drum. I just have a drum set, but I want to be in a band, so let's do this thing. And you could still tell that he's not much of a drummer. Like he's
oddly enough
been a drummer in a famous band for however many years, and he still can't manage to keep it together all the time. So that's just his little side conversation while I was looking up the producer, which is Quincy Jones. Oh,
was
Off
it?
The Wall.
Okay,
Yeah.
See, and that is great radio.
Yes,
I never quivered in my
you stood fast
of Quincy Jones being the producer of Off the Wall, but
yeah.
So, all right.
Oh,
now we got that out of the way, and know that Bob thinks that Lars Ulrich is a piece of shit.
I just think that he likes to act like everything is supposed to be given to him. He's really entitled. He just is one of those guys that just thinks that their shit doesn't stink. And that kind of thing is always interesting to me. Like somebody that can go through life and act that way. Like no humility and no shame. Like it's wild. It's a wild existence to me, I guess, is all I'm really trying to say. Like, were you just in such a bubble and are still in such a bubble that you've never had like that ego death that you really need?
Turn this into a psychology segment real quick before we bounce here.
Do it, because that's what we talk. We're into the psychology stuff.
Do you think those people feel like more or less burden in their day-to-day life?
More.
You think more?
If you think you're like that much better than everybody, then almost every person you encounter,
it's just like,
yeah.
Why is this person around me? Why do I have to deal with this?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, look at Lars sued Napster, and I mean, right, like that.
Yeah, but I don't think that's really much of a show of like what I'm saying is an entitlement. Like that's just legalities. They knew they had music that was.
I mean, Napster probably should have been sued. Let's be real here.
Yeah, you're right. Like, but I mean, like his approach with everything was just like, oh god.
Yeah, he just always carries himself like the smartest guy in the room, and like whatever he's saying is always the accurate thing, and whatever anybody else is adding isn't as important as what Lars has to say.
Gotcha.
Is how he always comes off.
You think there's less burden or more burden, man?
I feel like there's more, but I could see there being like a freeing aspect to like just not worrying about what anybody else thinks at all, because I'm stuck in that hole all the time.
Well, that's a good point.
So I don't know, maybe from the other side.
I feel like it's less burdensome because then there's not worried about it, whatever. They're like, it's my way or the highway. Fucking Limp Bizkit this shit.
Speaking of Limp Bizkit,
he was just in town.
Yeah.
He's got a crazy perm. You see?
Does he really?
Dude, it looks like a wig.
Sober with a perm.
He's got this crazy, like, his hair is, gray and white because he's old.
Yeah.
I say old, He's
probably like
40-something.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's got this hair, and it's like all curled up and permed. Looks like a wig. It's trippy.
Nice.
Looks like Sammy Hagar in the early aughts.
Yeah, he does kind of have the, but it's more gray.
Yeah. Well,
it is wild, but yeah, I guess.
What do you think?
That's
Van Hagar?
Van Durst. Let's do that. Let's go Van Durst
Fred
with
Durst with Van Halen.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what that'd have been like?
Chocolate starfish. Yeah. Hot dog flavored water.
Does David Lee Roth kicks while talking about hot dog flavored water?
Got it bad. Yeah. Hot dog flavored water.
That'd be good.
AI's gonna have a field day with this one.
And we have it all over the place. And
then that's the trademark of our show, is a little bit all over the place.
And I think, Brady changed my perspective on something immediately after we opened with
Klay Thompson.
Perspective. Yeah, well, Klay Thompson,
the GOAT.
How many times is Klay Thompson going to be in the synopsis?
At least
probably just
twice.
Yeah, the whole show bookend with him.
Yeah,
Klay over everything. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm sitting here scrolling on through the Reddit machine trying to see if there was anything that catches my eye, but nothing
big
exciting
going on. No.
So besides that, I got my trip to Florida coming up here.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Oh, we're going to Florida, staying in St. Pete's Beach, right on the water. So that'll be good. We're gonna drive. So we're staying through in Atlanta, hot Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
On the way there. Just an overnight kind of dealio, so we probably won't get out and around the ATL too much.
Gotcha.
But if I run into Andre 3000, I'll tell him what's up, and I'll say thanks for the great music.
In Florida?
I would appreciate that.
What?
In Florida, you're gonna run?
No.
ATL, baby.
He's not listening.
Driving through Atlanta.
Oh gosh, Davey, just listen to me when I talk. That's all I want.
I walk around with that stick, it ain't Andre 3K. That's all I'm saying.
Hell yeah.
Who do you think the most random person you've run into while a celebrity would be? Like if you've been like, I can't believe I just saw this person here.
I saw Andy Dick in L.A.
I feel like that guy is everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like that's like an Andy Dick. Like that's an L.A. thing. Like if you don't see Andy Dick, what are you even doing?
You didn't even go to L.A.
Right.
I took a piss next to Al McInnes one time.
Dang, okay.
Did you guys
I don't
compare
know
sizes, or did you ask him to? Seems like a miss on your spot.
No, I don't know how random it was because it was in Enterprise. I wasn't Enterprise at the time, but it was confusing because I feel like he was probably on his way to. So he must have had to go bad, but he was in full suit. He wasn't in a suite. Yeah, this was
for real.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He went to a full-on public restroom.
Yeah, public restroom.
Yeah, he must have had to go.
Yeah,
back.
he had to get that done.
But that's so funny. Did anybody try to stop him? Everybody's like, don't talk to Al McInnes in the bathroom.
Nobody. But it was also earlier because it was like me and Tony Cole went, so it was like those years, and it was like pretty early in the game because we used to go to watch. So I was really confused. But I mean, I 100% know it was Al McInnes.
What do you do if somebody starts talking to you while you're standing at the pisser?
That's the last place you do. But I also have taken a piss next to Bo Hart.
You just next to all these people.
That was at a charity basketball game that he was playing in.
Okay. Did you wait for him to go to the bathroom and then follow him in there so you could have that moment? Sounds like kind of you did.
I just pulled up and I came out and I told my grandpa because I was with my.
Jogging the memory here with random Cardinals facts. Played in a softball tournament with John Jay.
That's awesome.
So that was cool. Yeah.
Wow.
That is legit.
That was
little
wild.
John Jay head.
Yeah.
Was he rocking it?
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. They made him bat opposite handed. It didn't matter at all.
Oh really?
They're like, yeah, John Jay, come on, be serious. He's like, okay.
He was
still just killing it. Yeah.
John Jay. I used to have some tweets back and forth with John Jay.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Him and
speaking of old tweets, that's something.
Well, should we make that a segment in the future?
Oh man, probably not.
Read off a Kraken tweet.
Yeah, Kraken.
The only thing that got me on Twitter was these fools and other fools making parody Twitter accounts.
That was not foolish, nor was it a parody.
Yeah, it was not us either.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I don't know. Bob still to this day is trying to insist that we were responsible for some Twitter account that he got on and had some heinous.
Just terrible.
I didn't get on anything. Nope.
Dude, I still
There's
remember
some parody
of them
accounts. We can let that die.
Oh, no, it's still up every now and then. I go, well, I can't, because we had to create a new account, so we lost like half
a lot of it.
Jesus.
Some classics.
Dude, yeah. I remember but then I let Ryan Cruz got the password to it at one point and started getting
Oh, yeah, that was the kid I blew up. That was his name.
That was Ryan Cruz. Yeah. We were just talking
about like
he was talking that was Ryan Cruz.
I felt bad. It was like the first football game you guys invited me to, and I was like trying to like not, just wanted to be a guy.
Murder somebody?
Yeah, and then he caught me in the open field and the instincts and I just lowered the shoulder a little bit.
Yeah. It'll be fine. If you're gonna play the game, play the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People want to talk about
Ryan Cruz, really
bitch made.
Wow.
Hot take.
I remember he also
you know what I'm saying? He kind of comes from that same camp as a Lars Ulrich type, just like less aware and totally okay with
himself.
being. Yeah, like he's got to be the funniest guy in every room. Thinks of himself as.
Well, then I feel better about it now. I'm glad I did it.
He had the word "fuck" tattooed on his lip.
Oh, that's classy. What a guy.
Yeah. Brady's like, I wish I could do it again.
Yeah, let's bring him out again.
Oh,
you know that Sean Moss?
I'd say that we're long past. Yeah, Kelly. Yeah, I'm hip where he's at in life. We don't need to talk about people
just
random people from our past current situations.
That was the Burt quarterback talking. I was just like, that's
super hyper focused. Now I've lost my goddamn train of thought.
But you now are aware of Kelly Goldberg and Sean Moss being an item, Brady. So you're welcome.
Now I know.
Oh, yeah. Where was the threshold, I would say, for you guys of like, okay, I will no longer play full contact schoolyard football?
I mean, it was really for me when I left here because I would have probably kept going.
Yeah. I don't know.
Would you go play right now?
No, absolutely not. I'd die.
Yeah.
That'd be done.
Too many things to go wrong, dude.
2 years ago for me.
Was it?
Well, I realized like playing indoor volleyball because I play pretty hard, going to the ground, and I would always have like rough. When I woke up from indoor volleyball and felt like I just got in a car accident, I knew that tackle football was out of the equation for me.
That'll do it for me, brother. No, I'm probably a similar ballpark. I would probably, I'm trying to think if I ever did tackle football again, like after the knee.
I just didn't have anyone after you go, like where we moved in Illinois. There just wasn't anyone, and that wasn't a thing that was happening.
I think after the Luke Hibbler situation, it was kind of like
kind of died down a little bit after that.
Kind of highlights some of the real possibilities.
The risks.
If you're a grown ass person playing tackle football with no protection, and even ankle injury could happen no matter what.
Right.
So maybe it's better off to play slow pitch softball.
There you go.
I'd love to get back into doing some roller hockey, but
remember our Bash Brothers era that one season? The three of us were killing it in the senior league that we shouldn't have been in at all.
Yes. Yeah, because you're only supposed to have one person like under the age of 30.
And the one where Brendan Barnes got thrown out of first base by a left fielder?
I think it was.
Oh, man. Classic.
Yeah.
The lack of hustle.
Well, let's not speak ill on the dead.
Okay. I mean, look. Yeah, I get it. But it's not like this didn't happen. It's not like we're fabricating it.
He did get thrown out and from left field. But yeah, I do remember that era. It was a fun era.
It was a good time.
Yeah, man.
Where have all the good times gone? That's David Lee Roth Van Halen for you guys.
Okay. I'm still interested in making Fred Durst Van Halen a thing now.
Yeah, well, we'd have to get like AI Eddie because he's dead. So maybe like a hologram.
Do you have a son?
Wolfgang.
Yeah.
He's got his own band that sucks.
Not a Van Halen fan?
Not a Wolfgang fan so much.
Okay.
He's fine.
But, well, there's talks of us doing a Limp Bizkit cover band. Now, how cool would it be to do a Van Halen cover band but performed like Limp Bizkit? And just make that our own thing?
Yeah, I think that's the ticket.
That'd be interesting, like doing Van Halen songs but throwing like a DJ scratch over it.
Go ahead and jump!
That'd be funny.
You really got me! Woo! Oh, hot dog flavored water.
I got nothing. That's all I could figure out how it would go. It'd be.
I don't remember a whole lot of Limp Bizkit, but
It's like break stuff, and then something about My Way or the Highway.
Oh, yeah, Rollin'. That was the big one.
Those are the hits. I don't know. Outside of that, what the fuck did he do?
I mean, they had a lot of hits.
What's a lot?
I think probably just because I had that album on repeat in my mind.
That was all hits.
But also,
all
dude,
bangers.
And I think it's starting to come back around. I think it's starting to be a more popular take to say.
That's what's happening. I mean, everything is coming full circle. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
In a similar vein, I feel like for a while it was popular to hate Nickelback.
Yeah, 100%.
Super popular.
I like Nickelback. I think maybe some of that is starting to come back. I don't know if it's
big time coming back.
Nickelback.
Yeah, I think people like the whole ironic hating of Nickelback thing is kind of dwindling. Yeah,
because I'm tired of acting like I didn't.
It's the same exact reason.
I don't think I ever did act like I didn't like Nickelback.
Yeah.
I like Nickelback.
It's the same reason why Limp Bizkit's able to come back around and sell out an amphitheater, because they were a joke, quote unquote, for a lot of years in the middle there between their popularity and then, middle joke ground. Same way with Creed. Creed's fucking bangers again. They're going on tour with Scott Stapp and selling out places.
Man,
it's like, oh, people are like, wait a minute. We used to really like those guys. They were like selling a lot of records. I guess, why are we making jokes about them? Oh, let's fucking go to that show again.
So hang in there, Drake.
You got this, pal.
It's coming. It's a 4 years again.
Could you imagine Drake in like 30 years doing a Vegas residency?
Kendrick drops down from the rafters for love of the game.
50-something-year-old Drake out there singing to women. Like, what would that be?
Ooh.
Do you think that's going to be? Do you think Drake's going to be relevant in 30
years? Oh
years?
yeah. I mean, I don't think you can kill what Drake has done.
Yeah, but do you think there's going to be a market for people to want to watch Drake perform in 30 years?
Oh, no.
Or 20 years?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because like if you,
I don't think rap. Is
I was going to say rap's not kind of.
It doesn't have that longevity.
Doesn't have the
people wanting
not for live performances. I don't think.
Which is which is interesting. Like, what's the live show scene going to do in 15,
in 30
20
years? Drake's going to be in his mid to late 60s.
Yeah.
Bizarro world,
right?
But Rolling Stones out there doing their thing.
Different, I think.
I think it is. We had.
Well, because also the kind of, I think the attitude and stuff. Like,
Snoop's out there doing his thing still.
Snoop's more of a pop. Well, Drake, I guess, is more culturally relevant pop wise. I just think it's different. Snoop's kind of branched off into a lot of things, and he's kept himself afloat in the zeitgeist of
and just culture. He's just around.
Snoop's like a brand,
right?
Himself.
Yeah, well, OVO, I guess.
Everybody say.
I don't see it. I think Eminem might be able to still. I think Eminem
he'll be a legacy act.
Eminem has a niche audience that he'll sell whenever.
I mean, he still has more monthly listeners on Spotify than Drake and Kendrick.
It's insane.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which is kind of bizarre. What do you think that's about? Do you think that it's...
Do we have time to get into that one? I'll leave that one alone for now.
We'll do our research on that and bring it in for next time.
I don't think it'll take much research.
You think it's...
Same reason Macklemore won a Grammy?
Yep, yeah. I do believe they're one and the same. I believe concurrent streams there.
Oh, I don't know what it could be.
Can't quite put my finger on it.
I caught it.
To ask Caitlin Clark.
Whoa. Jesus. Whoa. And that's all.
And we're out.
Well, Caitlin Clark, since this has been a very pro Caitlin Clark and Angel Reed
19 assists?
Podcast. Yeah, well, first of all.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Nuts.
Let's talk about it. Somebody tell me.
Caitlin Clark, 19
broke
assists.
the record.
That's pretty
Rookie year, baby.
Come on, dude. You're her biggest advocate.
Well, that's used loosely.
I don't... You said that there's...
I said it's okay for people to be fans of her.
Because?
Why? Why was that?
Because I identify with her.
Oh. So you...
Yeah.
Going back, I'm glad that you brought this up because it kind of ties into now. So you're saying that you think that Macklemore, you're damn right he should have won a Grammy.
No.
Because this country is 60% of that can relate to him. So why are people... This is your thoughts. I'm not saying this, but you're saying that people should not be winning Grammys that we can't relate to.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. You're putting different words out there and thoughts. Because what I said is it's okay for you to like somebody and be like, I can identify with them. I do like them. But if you like them only because they're like, oh, they're white like me, if that's why you like somebody, that's obviously not okay. And if you dislike somebody because they're not like you,
and they
that's
connected with me too because I look like them.
Yeah, Eminem wasn't wrong.
Lose yourself.
Yeah. Well, Caitlin Clark though going and her and Angel are like they're having fun together.
Yeah, I saw that. They're in practice. They were throwing little passes at each other, dancing, laughing. It's good. It's a good thing.
The meme.
Yeah.
You know,
right?
The two arms.
Yeah. I love it, dude.
Lethal Weapon style.
And
we need to rally around these two. They
Absolutely.
need to be the
faces of the
face
league, man.
Of America right now. We should say this is how we come together and act civilized.
Who would have thought the WNBA?
I would love it, dude.
Like, this conversation last year would have been like parody almost.
Yeah.
And here we are now. Like, we're like legitimately talking about how like these two could like make a difference. It's pretty cool.
I really do
It's
think.
interesting.
I really
It
do
is cool.
think. Yeah. No, I was just saying. Sorry.
That was all. I was just saying.
was
It's
agreeing.
cool.
It is.
cool, Stu.
I mean, yeah, WNBA's had a bigger comeback. Well, it's not a comeback because they never were, but it's like
It's like the
bigger
rise
than
in the last.
Yeah.
bigger than Creed.
It's finally starting to catch, if you will, all the push, because they've been pushing it for a handful of years, big, but now it's finally starting to really catch on.
I don't think the push is what's got it big. I think it's those two, and
Well, it is, but I'm saying,
and there's
all
a lot
that
more
together,
like we discussed, but those two brought all this attention, and
we got like Juju coming up. We got Paige Bucher's coming up. Like,
Dude.
there's some star power. Like,
I'm here for it, dude. Oh my!
Star power.
Asia Wilson is
man, she's a beast.
yeah, and she's dating Bam Adebayo. That's pretty cool.
That's
Like what a
cool,
power
man,
couple
right?
there. But yeah, dude. I mean, yeah. Let's just be on the record. This is a pro Asia Wilson podcast,
100%.
and I think that she is the best women's basketball player in the world right now.
Yeah,
Facts.
that's good. That's a take to stand on.
It is, but I'm sorry to say, and I'm gonna have to go back to the chalk. I do think Caitlin Clark's coming for that spot pretty soon. I mean, geez Louise,
19 assists is crazy.
Yeah, that's good work. I mean, it's fine. It seems like her teammates are finally starting to realize when she's going to pass the ball. It seemed like at first a lot of her Caitlin Clark's Indiana teammates were a little surprised and caught off guard by some of those dimes. Like, holy shit! It's like
Have you ever played with anyone like that though?
Yeah.
You start playing pickup with a dude that can just dime out, and you're like, oh, whoa!
I 100% was going to say that. Do you know, Nick, who I'm going to say? I 100% can think of somebody that was, in my experience, like that when we started playing basketball with them. I'm like, holy shit, these are passes I was not expecting. Coach Sweeney.
Oh, Coach Sweeney,
Dude, with the sickest dimes.
Hall of Fame dimer.
You wouldn't.
Got the badge.
You'd be wide open, but you'd be like, oh, there's no way that, he has any clue that I'm standing over here wide open. Next thing you know, the ball's
Like
right
at
at you.
you,
Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
96 basketball IQ if he was in 2K.
Yeah, big time. And that's why he was able to still ball at his age that he was
Ripe
at.
age.
Do you think
I don't
other
know.
continents' favorite player is Asia Wilson because they can relate to her?
Could be.
You think her favorite band is?
Probably the band that performs Heat of the Moment.
Yes, dad jokes.
Ooh, man, I did hear a good dad joke the other day. You guys want?
Oh, yeah, hit
I
it.
told you, Nick. So you gotta stay out of this
I'll
one.
try to guess it.
Okay. What makes Scarecrow a good businessman? He's outstanding in his field. Woo!
Credits.
And this has been episode 14 of Sit, Talk, and Listen.
And play us off. Maybe one last question, though.
right.
I do think it's an interesting thought. So we've probably all been to Walmarts. What is one type of person you see at any Walmart you go to? You're like, you could go to a Walmart in Georgia, and you go to a Walmart in Colorado, and you'll still see the same type of person. Yeah, what do you think? I think I got some ideas.
I mean, there's more than one.
What do you think the most common are? Like, if you got your list 1, 2, 3, this is the most, this is the second, this is the third most common types of people that I run into at Walmart. What do you think? I think you're going to always run into you're going to always run into the family that's got everybody's wearing pajamas, and there's probably about 2 or 3 kids running around, grabbing things off the shelves, going to put it in the cart, and then the parents are yelling at them saying, "No, we're not getting that shit. Put it back." And they're all just running around. And like I said, they all got pajamas on.
Graphic tee.
The dad, the guy, whoever father figure might be there. My baby daddy number 2, who knows? He's wearing like a dirty T-shirt, but he's got maybe a Cookie Monster hat on. Or,
oh yeah, Cookie Monster hats are frequent at Walmart. Yes, that's fair.
That's a good point.
That is true.
So I think that I could go to a Walmart anywhere and probably see that family every time, any time of day, but most specifically like 3 in the afternoon. Just peak time. They got nothing else going on. They're just gonna go to Walmart and spend their food budget. I've
been running across a lot of people that smell like urine lately in Walmart, and that's been frustrating.
That's a Walmart
It's
thing.
unfortunate because it's like it's not a good time in this person's life. Obviously,
did they just like? I always wonder like how. I understand, like I get becoming smell blind to things, but
but urine's a tough one.
Like that aroma of just
that's always hurtful. You walk by and like, man, that sucks.
So you
sucks
feel
for me, sucks for them, a lot.
It sounds like you feel a little empathy. You start to feel bad for that person a little just because they're stanky.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can't just be going about life like that
being the stinky
when things are going well.
Yeah, that's
like fair. I don't think you're just
that's a good point.
Popping up smelling like urine if you're doing good. You're doing all right. Yeah.
That's fair. I was at the store last week and Jamie and we had to vacate an aisle because it was reeked up. It smelled so bad.
Oh,
and it wasn't urine. I think it was like just some down below smells.
Some rough.
Whoa.
Oof.
Oh, God. Brother, what do you want me to say?
I'm not going to eat dinner tonight.
This is the reality of the things we have to deal with going to the fucking store.
Dude, that is of all odors, dude, that odor produced
we had to get
from
out of the aisle.
Is the worst.
Yeah,
it'll make me gag every single oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now the answer I was thinking of when you first asked me is
Walmart types.
Just somebody that is just again, I'm not like I feel bad for them that they've gotten to this point, but I picture everyone there's a fairly very large person in a motorized car.
Rascal.
Maybe with their son or grandson who's also maybe in the plaid pajama pants. But like that's who they're just like that's what I'm thinking of.
Definitely, you definitely see rascal folk in about every Walmart you go into.
You'll hover around folk.
Yeah.
But so that was kind of what came to my mind, and I'm not trying to disparage those people.
I'd say you also are probably you're good for seeing like somebody that's like skin and bones thin, and they're wearing clothes that are like slipping off of them because they're just somehow so methed out, I guess, that they're just really thin. You seem to find that at about every Walmart also, I've noticed.
Oh, lots of shades here thrown it. Sometimes I feel a little...
I grew up in a super... Like, Walmart was what we had, so...
We already talked about how Hoosier
you see pretty much everyone at Walmart at home. But yeah, I could see here where you guys have, like, options. Walmart wouldn't... I mean, I live in Vegas now. Walmart is not my choice. Yeah. I will...
But if you do go to Walmart, I was curious of the cast of characters that you're like, I know I'm going to run into this person there.
I generally try to go out of my way to not go to Walmart.
And I can respect that because why? Because fuck Stan Kroenke.
Absolutely.
He's got his hands in the Walmart money. In more ways than one.
That I lived in, the next town over where the Walmart was, they got out of the original building, went and built a super center, and Stan Kroenke personally would not let the building be torn down for like 20 years. Just 20 years it stood there.
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
Classic.
Dilapidated.
That reminds me of another aspect of it. It's like, I love that it's become like a verb, the Walmart. Everybody else says, let's go to the Walmart.
Let's go to the Walmart. Yeah. You don't say let's go to store, though. Also.
Let's go to Walmart. Let's go to the Walmart. Let's go to Walmart.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But if a town has only one Walmart, they'll probably be like, let's go to the Walmart.
let's go to the Walmart. It's like the Ohio State.
The
Walmart.
Not to be confused with Walmart State.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ohio State, real quick.
Yeah.
In that NCAA Football 25
Have you played
business, a little bit. I had like the trial version of it, so I wasn't able to get like deep into it. But
Legit.
Illinois is about to be out here looking crazy, boy.
Bringing hopes and dreams.
Absolutely.
All coming true.
Lying to recruits all the time. Sure,
they were
you'll play
talking about
first
on the TMA. They're saying, there's got to be some kind of cheat code or something where you can dance on recruits like Brian Kelly to get them to come to your school.
That's my goal. I'm trying to get on the Louisville program. Just have them out at the strip club.
Brady was saying he was going to just lie to all these recruits, but and just tell them, like, yeah, you'll get playing time as a freshman. But there is like the new transfer portal thing. Like
my team's going to be turning over big
every year. 53 new players.
Yeah, but I cannot wait. I don't have it either yet. I cannot wait. I'm hoping to get it next week, but we'll see.
I know we got a little bit of time still.
Okay.
But I do want, while we have Brady here and we're talking college football, let's talk some college football. I mean, the Big Ten is now the Big 18.
It's ridiculous. We were actually talking about that when we were eating earlier.
Yeah.
About the 18-team Big Ten.
So they're not going to have a championship game? Is that the deal?
No, they're going to have the championship game, but they're getting rid of the divisions. So it's just the top two teams.
Okay. Oh, so the top two teams of the entire league are going to just play each other? There's no like East and West.
No East West, none of that anymore.
What's Illinois' schedule looking like this week?
It's rough, brother. They got to go to Autzen. Got to travel out to Oregon. That's going to be a fun one, I'm sure.
Big Ten,
me
coast
personally,
to coast.
right? Shoot, who else? They got somebody else ridiculous this year. I'm pretty sure.
Ohio State.
No, they don't. They have Michigan this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, they have Michigan, and it's back to back. It's like Michigan.
Is it
Oregon.
in the Big House or what is it?
It is at Illinois, so no chance still. But
the Animals beat Team USA.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. But yeah, it's going to be a rough year.
So you said Oregon is their probably toughest?
Oregon and Michigan is definitely the toughest. Yeah, I think. I think Oregon's ranked higher right now. Like to start the season, the preseason rankings. I think Oregon's number 1, aren't they? Yeah. So
no Ohio State this year.
No. Yeah, they ducked Ohio State this year. Luckily,
that's
but
good.
they still got Wisconsin. Which is always tough. Yeah,
some of those crapshoot big.
Right.
Is what is that? Northwest? Any of them this year?
Northwestern's, I think they're protected. Like they got the protected rivalry games or whatever. Northwestern's always going to be like that.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, last game of the season. Right.
I'm not a Big Ten guy.
Yeah, it's the weakest rivalry
I know something about
in the Big Ten. But you guys, man, Mizzou.
Do you think? Yeah,
playoff aspirations.
It's an interesting time because at any time you go into a season and you think things are going to happen for Mizzou, they don't happen.
That's what I was saying earlier. I do have a lot of high hopes, but I think we are I'm not even going to say the player's name, but we are an injury away from.
It's like I won't even put it out there.
Specific guy that we all hope doesn't get hurt.
Yes. And
I do have more hope that we have like a stronger foundation to this year's team than even last year's. Like the line, we had a strong line, offense and defense last year, but I do think that that's also going to be a strength.
I just don't know what to expect. I don't think that Mizzou's ever been in a situation
kind of a weird
where we're
situation,
entering a season with these kind of expectations. I mean, we've got in the middle of the season,
like gotten hot and
been like,
here's
wow,
number 2, Mizzou,
been like the surprise team,
Oklahoma.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But we've never entered a season where like it's just foreign territory. I think
it is 100% foreign territory. So that's what gives me like pause and just like the classic downer of being a Mizzou fan of like, anytime something could go wrong, it probably will.
That's how I feel as a Jets fan, too. My life as a football fan is just hellacious, dude.
My life be like, ooh.
Do you guys feel that way with basketball with Mizzou, or do you kind of expect? Because, like, with Illinois, like, I get mad whenever, like, I feel like Illinois is going to be good this season, and they're like, oh, yeah, Illinois is probably going to finish, like, 8th in the Big Ten. I'm like, you're out of your mind.
I get more fired up about the Mizzou football than I do basketball,
do you?
I think, because I've been alive when Mizzou was number 1 in the country in football before, so it's like I'm like, we're right on the precipice.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had some damn good basketball teams.
You guys have, yeah.
I think that right now you're asking at a time where after last season, I mean, Mizzou was one of the worst teams in the freaking country. Like we were terrible, absolutely terrible. I think there's a lot of hopes because we have a couple of big time recruits. I think that most of my life, I've been more into Mizzou basketball than football.
Yeah, same. Being an Illinois football fan is just kind of a wild. It's like
not right. It doesn't feel right.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
it's the same way. It's like sometimes you get hot and like we beat Ohio State. What the hell?
Yeah,
but never has there been the expectation going into the season like this is Illinois' year. They're going to really compete for the Big Ten, or like it's never been the case.
Yeah, 100%. So, but my expectations.
I
have tunnel vision on the football team this year.
I don't expect them to make the playoffs. I have hope that they will compete to make the playoffs, but I don't have expectations that I won't be disappointed if they don't.
Oh, I will.
If they no,
100%.
What do you mean? If we don't make the playoffs, this is like our best chance ever to.
This is the first year of expanded playoffs. So what do you
this
mean?
This is the best Mizzou team we've ever had. If you were a Mizzou fan, wouldn't you be disappointed if we didn't?
I mean, I would. If Illinois were in the situation where going into the season there are these expectations, I would be a little butthurt if it didn't happen. Yeah,
I think expectations were higher overall going into like the 2009.
The Chase Daniel,
Chase Daniel, Macklin, Chase Kaufman, like all those.
Yeah,
guys.
I don't think so, man.
I do. I mean,
what do you think Mizzou will be ranked going into the season? Top 15?
They're top 15, I think. Yeah.
Dude, there was people leaving them out. They were voting them like number 6 in the SEC.
Yeah, but I mean
it's still 6 in the SEC.
Yeah,
it might
still,
be top
12. Beat the playoffs.
I get what you're saying. I don't know.
Well, we'll stay tuned. I mean, that's coming up.
So college football talk done.
Nailed it.
Fucking forking nailed it. Xavier, anything? What do you got coming around the corner?
Man, I mean,
you're gonna be looking after the abode. You're gonna be watching my house, our house. Jamie
I will
and
be
house.
here starting Thursday night. I guess Friday morning when you guys leave. So I'll be doing that. I got
be all cozy and nice. And
a
little quiet time to yourself. What do you think? You could do some meditating.
I've been trying. Yeah.
Do some show prep for our next podcast.
Lots of research, but no, probably not.
All the research on the topics we've been bringing up.
Full behind the curtain right now. I've had to pee for like an hour and a half.
Oh, man, Even before I got here, I was like, man, I could pee.
Yeah, so like that has just been kind of in the back of my mind.
Sounds like you're distracted.
Kind of gnawing at me the whole time.
That is what I was thinking about earlier when you were talking about Andre 3000. That's when I got lost a little bit. Like, if you've seen me, I've been battling that, but it's my flu game.
It's
perseverance.
Sometimes you got to just fight the battle, buddy.
This is the legend in the making.
Well, if that's the case, and I don't know if Brady, you got anything else you wanted to bring to the table before we get out of here?
Yeah. What do you think about Belgium? You know anything about Belgium?
Yeah, we're doing this.
We're going in. Okay, I was looking for the right time.
Okay, So I did want this.
I got you. I've been pushing to get home, right? I've been really trying these past few years to get home.
Yes.
And there's a roundabout opportunity that takes one through Belgium to do so.
Belgium, Missouri? Is that
no, brother?
Belgium,
Europe, Belgium.
What do you mean? How do you get a roundabout trip through Belgium? That doesn't.
So, not to get into the super specifics and dox myself on anything, but there's this. It's one of these things where if I take a job there, coming back, I can pick my location.
I see. Interesting.
So I've been trying to force this thing. Like I've been interviewing, I've been applying, nothing doing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But an offer has come in.
Not like a literal, I'm traveling and just so happen to be going through Belgium.
No, yeah.
But like in the context of, this is Brady's life. How can I make it back to middle of the country?
Right. Crazy, right?
And also be not taking huge cuts in life and stuff. Yeah. Hell, I think that if there's an opportunity to do something like that, you do it because...
Why not, right?
Man.
I thought you were going to be kind of sad.
No, I'm all for going out and finding that fucking dog. You have experiences. You don't know if those experiences and those opportunities are going to ever manifest themselves again in life.
Right.
That was my take. I think it's super cool.
You got to...
It's definitely not like a 100% anything right now. It's kind of in the works.
Brooks,
but Brooks over here like, no, we're going. It's kind of in the works. It's a thing, but...
It could be pretty bad.
Roundabout way to try and get home, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, too, to that, is like I was telling him...
Probably a good place to be for the next few years.
If money was better, we would probably already like to go visit him in Vegas. But I'm 100%. Saying we have to. If this happens, we have to make it a point. It'd be a great opportunity to go visit.
Record quart of cast over there.
I've never left the country, so I'd be down for sure.
Yeah.
But you know how it goes economically when you're a struggling creative person.
Brother, I know that.
World. Oh, Phil.
We'll be a tax write-off if we're going out here for the podcast.
That's true. It's for work.
Business. Business.
Put it on the card.
Yeah, so because I was discussing with them, I was like, you should discuss the Belgium thing live on air. It's a good.
Yeah, that's a good can to kick around. I would if everybody that was involved in my situation was cool and on board with it, I would do it.
Right.
100%. Like, I mean, there's family and like that.
Yeah, that's the toughest thing. Is just like knowing. Like, we just had my grandpa's 95th birthday the other day, so like,
yeah.
How many of those are left, you know?
I just had 95
right.
of them. No offense.
No, yeah.
Thanks,
so it's like, that's the tough part. It's like thinking about going away from family for that long, but also like the opportunity for this little thing over here. Mm-hmm. My now 15-year-old child, which is insane. But yeah, man, it's kind of one of those things where we're seeing if we can do it.
Yeah.
If not, cool. If so, great.
I just think if your immediate, your tight-knit clan, your immediate family is there with you, it'll be all right. Extended family is always a video chat away.
Right.
Or whatever. You're not going to, you got to try to live in other places. I think there's just so much benefit to that. Being able to see how people live in different parts of the world really is unique, and not a lot of people get that experience. And so being able to have that experience is just so invaluable, I'd say.
Right. This is getting
this is from a fucking poor Hoosier that wishes he could be exotic and live in other parts of the...
Can you imagine the freaking looks we'd get out in Belgium?
Oh, man, I can imagine how me cruising through Belgium's going to look. That's going to be cool.
Dude,
for a while.
Probably just think you're the biggest badass there
probably.
is.
They're like, what's this?
This
I'm going to have like a baguette on my shoulder, though.
Yeah, dude. I'd be super pumped for the food.
Yeah. And I'm all about like soaking up a culture of a place and the history of a place. And, few places have the culture and the history of like Europe, obviously. Right. So that's, to me, that's a life experience that you gotta try to go for if it presents itself.
If it's one of those things we can make happen. I think it's.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you go out there and you find that fucking dog, right? Like,
so I think I'm glad that we got this, because I think it's super cool. It's super exciting. I hope it happens. I hope it manifests itself completely.
I'm hopeful.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, but I mean, it'd be nice to get out to Vegas beforehand. So don't be so selfish.
Right. I'm trying to push it like as far as I can. So that's one of the like key factors. It's like how soon. Once like the preliminary stuff gets done, or they're like, "Hey, brother, you got like a month. Get out here." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's."
Then after that, he could be back here.
Yeah,
that's the goal. That's the hope.
Yep. And then we'll be the three best friends that anybody could have.
Right.
We'll be the three best friends that anyone could have, and we'll have this pod. We'll never have anybody else on.
Hey, speaking of that, though, I do want to advocate for my homie Brendan real quick.
Oh,
okay,
we had an idea earlier.
Shouts out.
Shout out to my boy. Stepbrother situation, right? Brendan and I come in suits, and he's like, where Billy is behind me. We'll be talking, and then Brendan just kind of pop over.
Trade off action.
That was his plan, just to get Brendan on.
I think it'd be good.
Well, body double.
Right?
Might have to be the way. We got to talk to Tony, the producer. He's the one that really he makes all the decisions on who comes on and who doesn't.
Tony's a good dude.
He's learning. He's
getting there.
We'll really learn if Brendan listened to this whole. Probably our longest episode yet.
Yeah,
it's got to be
definitely going to be the longest one. But you know what? We don't get Brady. We don't get Brady in studio very often.
If Brendan questions where the reference was, we knew that he tuned out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right about the time we started talking about Klay Thompson.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
He's like, nah, I hate Klay.
Billy's like, wow, I wouldn't have joined if I knew it was going to be.
My daughter's been staring at me for like 48 minutes now. Like,
just listening to you guys talk is the worst. There's people that really care about this.
The urinal's been calling my name for, I don't know how long.
All right.
Is there a bathroom?
There is a bathroom.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to hit that.
I was thinking about halfway through the episode, taking advantage of having a third person going in.
You should have, man.
Well, I didn't know.
We could have traded off.
Yeah, missed opportunity, it sounds like, Davey. So unless anybody else has anything pressing that they would like to...
Brooke, you're the show's biggest fan. You got anything?
Brooke, you want to come and get on the mic real quick? Brooke says she has so much she doesn't want to make the episode any longer than it's already been.
It's gone long enough.
You could have watched a feature-length film in the amount of time, which I think is cool. I think it's been great. Yeah. I think it's been a great episode.
I enjoy chopping it up with you guys anytime I can, so
yes,
it's good.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Thanks for coming, and thanks for listening to this whole episode, guys.